Number 8, this is getting us much closer to home, is that you guys, as a group, have arrived in the keep of the Borderlands as apprentice level 0s. You are not yet full-fledged adventurers. You are wannabes. You've had minuscule training in whatever it is your various arts are, but you are apprentices to masters who brought you with them into this area so you could eventually begin perfecting your art and one day become adventurers yourselves. Your masters formed a group known as the Sons of Selvanara, and they did have some success. But the last time that they went out, they were over a week late coming back on their run. They went out to investigate some ruins, and it should have only been a day or two trip. And it was almost a week later before they finally came back. In that time, you guys started getting more and more worried. People in the keep started saying, oh, I guess that's another new group that didn't make it. You know, not everybody is designed to survive in the Borderlands. And everybody else had given up on them. You guys stayed up one night, finally a week into it, and you're like, you know, we got to figure this out. What are we going to do? We're here by ourselves. And you decided as a group that even though you were untrained, that you were going to go out the next day and you were going to find where your masters were and rescue them. But point number 9, last point that brings us right up to where we're at, is while you were staying up late drinking and discussing what you were going to do and how you were going to do it, and the group, the Band of the Hand is what you decided to name yourselves, we're going to go get them. Way late into the night, all of a sudden somebody burst into the tavern that you were at, the Stink Pot, and said, oh, the Sons of Selvanara, they've returned, but there's something going on. The guards are all surrounded them, and there's some big hubbub, and they rushed out. You guys were half inebriated. You had already made your plans. You were going to go find them, so you're a bit confused. You stand up to go find out what's going on, and very soon, one after the other, there was this sharp pain in the back of your head, and then everything went blank. You guys just passed out. And that brings us up to this moment where you wake up, and you are in some kind of a natural cave, but there is an iron door that's in front of you. And if you take your minis, and if you can place them in this room right here, please. And if anyone's watching this on camera at some point later on, the camera's never going to zoom in during this video. We'll take pictures and we'll post them online, but the camera is just because people want to see how Creatures and Catacombs gets played, which is the homebrew rules we're using. So just so you know, it won't zoom in at any point. This isn't a studio. I don't have camera people. This is in my living room, so we're doing what we're doing. So you guys wake up and you kind of shake it off. Your head is still hurting, half from inebriation, half from the shot that you took to the back of your head. All of your weapons are gone, your armor is gone, and you are in ragged-looking prisoner clothes. They're functional, but they're definitely not, you know, super comfortable. And you're looking around, and there's we'll call him a gentleman that's standing up here, and he's got a pickaxe in his hand, and he's kind of kicking down. He's dressed in the same clothes that you are, and he takes his pick and he goes tink, 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 really hard on the stone that's next to him, and he goes, Drax will be here soon to talk to you and let you know how things are. Don't know what you did to end up here, but sucks to be you. And that's all he says. What do you guys say?
Are they giving us any food here?
I
I
will.
feel a little peckish.
He kind of looks at you as a lizard folk, and
I will move to the back wall.
You move to the back wall?
Without saying anything.
Okay.
Kind of take as much cover as I can.
all right, so Ganvil moves to the back wall and just tries to get in the corner so he has a good view of everything, so hopefully nothing will surprise him. And Byzant, the lizard folk, correct? Okay.
He's a Dragonborn.
Dragonborn, sorry. He kind of looks around, talks about being peckish. You don't see any obvious food that's there. The guy who's got the pickaxe in his hand, who definitely does not appear to be a guard, he's dressed in the same type of clothes that you guys are in, kind of looks at you and he's like, well, we get food regularly if everybody does what they're supposed to do, so
Is he
be
human?
patient. He's human.
Excuse me, sir, where are we and who are you?
Well, you don't even know where you're at?
No, wait,
You,
last thing I remember was walking out of the tavern and something hit me in the back of the head and here I am.
Oh, you've had a day, haven't you?
Oh, it's been bad.
Don't know why you're here, but you found yourself in the Iron Blood mine. This This is
Have
the
we
mine.
never heard of that?
Oh yeah, the Ironblood mine is the one mine that feeds basically the keep on the Borderlands with its raw materials. The keep itself, where you guys have been apprenticing for several weeks while your masters were out adventuring, you know that the Ironblood mine is the mine where the raw materials for ore and stuff come from. Not enough trade comes to the keep itself to keep it supplied with the steel and stuff like that.
Right.
And so generally, as a rule on the Borderlands, anytime there's a keep or stronghold established, it's somewhere near a mine where they can get the raw materials they need, so they're less likely to be cut off from it, which would make it be too easy for them to be overrun by wood elves or monsters or anything else.
So these are the raw materials that come, that my mistress uses to forge the armor and all.
Correct. Correct.
I said, how did I wind up here? I was,
Well, there's two ways of being here. You're a dwarf and you like to work the mine.
no.
I can't perfectly see in this light and being a human, but I'm going to guess that's a no.
No.
And there is, by the way, there's a post in the middle, and there's like a little brass lantern that's there, and so there's like a flickering light in the room that you are able to see, but it's kind of shadowy around the edges. That's the guy right there. Yep. And he just says his name is Geff, and he says on the other way is you got accused of a crime, and they don't have room to keep everybody. So while you wait for what's going on, if you don't remember being tried, then they just threw you in here. That means somebody doesn't like you. Sucks to be you. So, and then just as he's saying that, he just kind of backs up and he does like a look like this to the door, and the door opens up, closes behind him, and there's a big beefy looking dwarf and a slightly smaller one that come in, close the door and lock it behind them. First dwarf comes up, one of them's got like a torch in his hand. He kind of comes up and he looks, and he's a little bit bigger than the other one. He looks around and kind of hikes up his shorts like this, or his mining pants, and he's dressed in mining type gear. And he looks around, and so does the other dwarf. He looks at all of you and he goes, "Well, here's the story. Somebody doesn't like you. You've been accused by the crown of treason, that you are part of the rebels that are trying to overthrow the government. I don't care. I don't know if you're guilty. I don't know if you're innocent. As far as I know, Gaff, are you guilty? I'm innocent, boss. Everyone here is innocent. So I take everyone at their word. But the law says that you're mine to work this mine. And so that's what we're going to do. We've got some rules. Everyone follows them. Everyone gets treated well. I'd rather everyone gets 3 square meals a day. Everyone gets water and meat to make sure that they're well rested. And what we do is we get productivity. We produce for the mine. That's my sole purpose. I don't love you. I don't hate you. I got nothing against you. As long as you're healthy and working, my mine is producing, and I'm happy. If that's not what's happening, I'm unhappy. Guess what happens? Gaff goes, "We become unhappy, boss." Good man, Gaff. And he looks at you and he's like, "What kind of questions you got before we get started?"
I want to look where I can see, in general areas. Is there anything on the ground or any remnants of past people that may have been here or anything like that?
No, it doesn't speak like you don't see any blood stains or anything crazy like that. You don't see any skeletal bones. And even the guy Geff, who's clearly a prisoner, and judging by the beard on his face, has probably been there a while. Doesn't do a perception check.
Not very good. So that would give me a 4.
A 4. In the darkness, you honestly, the flickering of the light, there's a lantern in there, like that. It's flickering. You really can't see anything. He just looks like he's dressed the same as you. So it's really, but you do not see any obvious signs of, like, you don't see like a hand or arm that's been cut off laying on the floor. You don't see any signs of blood spatter or anything like that.
Question, sir. How long are the typical sentences for individuals that find themselves here?
So it's like this. I don't run the justice system. I'm just the miner. I'm in charge of that. But It appears that your masters were accused of treason directly, and they got sentenced, and that sentence was carried out this morning. You guys were knocked out last night. So
You said sentence. Were they executed?
they were. They were hung this morning. That's not usually the speed of things. I don't get into the politics. If I had to guess, somebody didn't like them. Now my understanding is that you guys are the apprentices to them, and so you're sort of guilt by association, and you've been sent here probably for about a week or two until they work out whether or not you knew anything about the rebellion. Now if everything goes well, I'll put in a good word for you, and maybe you'll be out of here in a week or so. But all I can tell them is the way you guys behave, and the best way you can get on my good side is to produce ore. But you'd best make your peace for being here for a little while, because now that they have you here, they may or may not be in a hurry. What else do you want to know?
Well, we've just woken up from a harrowing adventure, and as my friend here in the rocks has told me, you do give 3 meals a day. You've said so yourself, and if you want me to produce, my stomach needs to be full.
Making demands first thing, kind of nudges the dwarf that's next to him. He kind of laughs. He goes, "Oh, you're going to do well here." Well, you missed breakfast. You slept through it. So lunch is a couple hours away. But that's okay, because you're not going to leave this room until you get to eat. Get here. He's going to show you the rounds as far as the way to work the equipment and use it. What tends to happen, people when they first show up here, especially ones that weren't expecting to show up here, they're not happy about it. I understand that. I'm not saying I blame you. But it takes them a little bit to work it out of their systems emotionally. So we let people stay here for a few hours, kind of get settled a bit, take some deep breaths, let yourself relax, accept your situation, things will move forward, and then we'll move you in with the population of everybody else. Right before we do that, I'll feed you. I'll make sure everybody's well rested. Good enough?
That could be amenable.
As he's talking, I like to just kind of walk around the room and size up everybody that's in the room.
Okay.
Not saying anything, just
Okay.
kind of browsing by. Who looks like they're the most beefiest,
The guy talking, Drax. And you guys know from being there that Drax is the guy that runs the mine, and he, even though he's just the foreman of the mine, because the keep can't exist without what the mine produces, it would put them to, his word is taken to be, he has more soft political power than he has hard political power, but it's strong soft political power because of who he is.
Carries a lot of weight.
But out of our group, who's
Carries a-
the beefiest?
Oh, well, I don't know, who has their strength and con, who's got high on that?
Whopping 8 strength here.
Okay, it's not
Not him.
It's not
You look very
Westmir.
strong.
I might be beefy, but I'm not very strong.
No, I'm definitely not very strong, but I mean, I'm looking for somebody that looks beefy,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna position myself behind you.
Okay.
Brandon, Brandon's at a 16.
All right.
So,
At a
yeah,
16.
just move me somewhere behind you, there you go.
Looks like
The Snow White Dragonborn.
Brand is the largest one.
Maybe.
The muscle man.
Yeah, I wanna have somebody that's going to,
Use me
be
as
a
half
shield.
cover.
All right. Okay. So you go on, my friend, and Drax and the other dwarf don't seem to be bothered by you working. They don't feel like they're on edge or anything like
just
that.
kinda like working the room,
Right.
you know.
Who's got a high insight?
I do.
All right.
I have a +5.
Okay. So you've been listening so far. So I'm gonna say go ahead and roll an insight.
16.
Okay. So you've been listening, you've been watching some of your compatriots move around a little bit, do some dialogue, and you've just kind of been taking in what the responses are. And your vibe that you're getting is that this guy is not like some cruel taskmaster who enjoys enslaving people or anything like that. This is a guy who's got a job to do, and the people that are sent to him are the resources that he has to do that job. And you get to feel like this is probably a guy he's a dwarf. He probably takes a lot of honor and pride in what he's doing. And so you don't think he's going to treat you any harsher than absolutely necessary in order to get the result that that he's looking for to get done. He doesn't love you, just like you said, he doesn't love you, he doesn't hate you. He's just, you're here, whether it's right or wrong or not, he's not the guy that determines that, but because you're here, he's gonna put you guys to work, and he's a dwarf and this is a mine, so it is not going to be fun. It's not going to be brutal, it's not going to be like work you to death, but it is not going to be a fun experience.
All right, and he's still in the room.
He's still in the room, yep.
We look out behind the Dragonborn
Mhm.
that I'm using as shield. Say, excuse me, what has happened to our worldly possessions? Well, what has happened to them? Do we get them back at one point?
Those are safe in storage. I'm not a thief. If they come back and they tell us that you're innocent to be released, I'll give every bit of it back to you.
You keep a track of who's who, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's not going to be any confusion.
I don't think so.
Okay, because, I'm just concerned, there would be,
I would concern myself with mining ore right now. But
Well, if you want to do that, that's perfectly fine, but I was just asking a question that I was interested in.
absolutely. He kind of chuckles a little bit. He thinks to himself, he's like, all right, and he kind of nudges his buddy, and they exit the room and close the door, lock it behind him, and then they pull a bunch of shovels and picks out, and they hand them through to Geth, and he comes, picks them out, and he goes, show him the basics, we'll be back in a couple of hours. And Geth's like, right, boss, and he seems to, you don't detect any fear in Geth's voice when he says that. It's just like, okay, this is my life, it sucks right now, but,
So what did you do to get yourself here?
well, I'm innocent.
What are you accused of, is what he's saying.
Oh, that, well, there was a misunderstanding about the ownership of some ponies. And unfortunately, I didn't have the political clout in order to clear up that issue. And so I was sent here because I wasn't able to convince them of my genuine ownership of those fine animals.
And this weapon that he's holding is a pick?
It's not a weapon. It's a mining pick.
Mining
It's
pick.
a mining
And
pick.
how long ago was that? How long have you been here?
There's the thing about that. It's really hard to tell time down here. But I'm guessing about 3 months.
Well, I don't like doing physical work myself. I hope they clear this up quickly.
I'm sure they will. But the more you get to work, he kind of puts the thing in your hand, he goes, the more you get to work, the faster the time will go. It really benefits everybody.
Okay. He hands me a shovel or whatever.
Yeah, he hands you a shovel.
I have another.
Nope, it's only one per hand.
Okay, I'll go start tapping it along the stone to a rhythm.
And he goes around, he turns around, he's like, I'm going to show you how to do this, and you guys can ask me questions while I'm showing you how to do this, that's fine. But if you come back and I haven't shown you anything, well then that's on me, and I don't want to be that place. So, up to you. You can listen, but you can ask questions, but you should definitely listen. Because he's going to quickly find out who's the slackers and who are the workers. And he starts showing you, this is the way that you pick, and this is the shovel, these are the things to look for in the mine, like this looks like it'll be a good area that's worth digging, this looks like it's going to be a really tough area, it should require 2 people, or whatever the case may be. He talks about things about how, as you're picking, you're going to have stuff that comes across, you're going to pick for a certain amount of time, and then you're going to start picking the stones up and putting it in the mining carts to fill them up. And he basically just starts going through the process of what it is to mine and get this process going. By the way, for those who are interested, Elder Scrolls, you always start off as a prisoner, so I just thought that would be a nice little nod to that. That's where that came from. So he's showing you that. While he's showing it, do you guys have any questions for him while he's doing it? Assuming all that's going on in the background, and you guys are following suit and attempting to do something, but there certainly isn't. He does. It's not like he's like hush, hush, and you can't speak. There's none of that feeling at all. He seems to be almost conversational.
When was the last time they delivered you a fresh group of prisoners?
Maybe like a week and a half ago, but I mean, it wasn't a group, it was just 2 people.
Are they still here?
I think so. I mean, I haven't seen them in a couple of days, but there's a whole different, there's a bunch of different areas, so I'm not in every area all the time.
Building confidence myself, I'll walk over near where the gate is at, I'm going to size up the lock.
Okay. It's Dwarven Island.
Well, he's swinging.
Complication? on it real complicated, or?
No, it's
No,
very, very strong.
It's very, very solid.
Okay.
It's simple. It's really solid stuff. I mean, it's dwarven iron, so.
So my mistress was actually the weaponsmith of the keep.
Correct.
So I am very familiar with, well, I'm telling him.
Right, okay,
I'm familiar with working the ore and turning it into things.
okay. He goes, well, now you're gonna see the beginning of that process. Good for you. This is really a career opportunity for you. He's just kinda like,
Well, I'm interested to see the different types of ores that they have here. Besides iron, is there, other precious metals, the mithril, the other highly valuable types?
okay. So he kind of looks at you a little bit, and you're not sure. He's trying to. You think by the look on his face, he's trying to size up. Are you being facetious, or are you actually interested in it? After a certain amount of listening to it, he's like, okay, maybe he's interested. And he starts talking to you a little bit about it, and about which ones to go for, which ones will make the bosses really happy if you find it, and how you can kind of. If you know one area is bad for the new people, you can kind of slough off the new people on the crap one, and that way you're the producer because you mined the good area that gets the good stuff, and not to get somebody else in trouble, but to definitely stay out of trouble yourself, kind of a thing. And he goes off on that kind of stuff.
Well, it's not much we can do until, I don't know about the rest of you, but
When was the last time you saw the outside?
Oh, that would be the last time I saw the outside. Right before they hauled me in here, I guess. I didn't really think about that anymore. See, unfortunately, the horse that was inappropriately named to somebody else when it was indeed mine, did belong to Lord Redstone. He said was his, and so being the steward of the keep, he took it personally, and so I'm not really necessarily counting the days till I'm on the other side of the mine.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get out of here
No.
the legit way.
And then just while he's like going away at that, showing us, I'm going to kind of watch to see how I can do it more efficiently because I'm definitely more dexterous than strong, and I've never swung a sword in my life.
Okay.
So I'm just going to eyeball it to try to make sure that I conserve my strength while doing the work.
Okay. And as he's going through, he's kind of giving you guys tips and stuff, and he's telling you, put your back into it. Don't use your arm muscles any more than you have to. Let the weight of the swing do it. He's trying to give you stuff to basically to extend your endurance. And I mean, it's not information most of you ever wanted to learn, but you think he's legit trying to, this is how it'll suck less, is basically the feeling that you're getting. And he goes, now, who is actually attempting to mine? Is there anyone who's actually practicing? So you're practicing, is anyone else, you're doing it? Is there anyone else, or you guys just listening as a...
I'm just pushing the shovel around on the ground.
You're just pushing the shovel around? Okay.
I'm listening.
You're listening, and...
Bran is gonna sit in the corner with hugging his knees, kind of just watching everything.
Okay, it's a deeply emotional moment for Bran.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, give it a moment.
Right. Okay. Plus 5 safe space. Okay, so Bran's doing that. Get this chipping away. So let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'll do that. You're trying, you said?
No, I wasn't trying.
Okay.
I was the only one trying.
Okay, so you're okay. So
Or you were trying to.
okay. So you break a rock pretty good. You're trying because you're into it. You're like, hey, this is the start of the process, right? So you're into it. You break away a rock and it kind of pulls open, and out of it, all of a sudden, a pair of giant rats come pouring out of some kind of a nest behind an area in the rock. Geth seems pretty well surprised, but these are 2 giant rats that all of a sudden jump right out. Roll for initiative, please, because they look like they're starving.
Starting out
Oh,
strong.
there's 2 of them.
That's not good.
15. So does anyone beat a 15 is my first question.
19.
19? Okay, so that is going to be Stephen first. Who's next? Who's good? What is your score?
1.
1. Okay, you're going to be last. So I need to this doesn't matter. So it's going to be a rat. Brian's definitely going to be last. Mike?
9?
9. Terry?
9.
9. You guys can decide who you want to go first next?
You can go first.
Okay.
No, this isn't that one.
You got
Is it that one? Okay.
Yes.
So you're going to, and Silas?
3.
You're 3. Okay, so it's going to be Steven, Giant Rat, Mike. Mike, you said you're going to go first?
Yes, Michael. Go.
Mike, I'm sorry, Mike.
Perfect.
Okay, Mike will go first, and then there'll be the second rat will go, and then go from there. So, Stephen, you see two giant rats. They're kind of mangy and nasty looking. They look like they're starving. They've got big teeth. They come out, and they look like they're ready to start chewing on somebody. What do you do?
I'm gonna leap up and actually try to get a pickaxe or a shovel or some sort of weapon that's near me.
Okay.
Once I have that, I will try to run and swing on them.
All right. Go ahead and make your attack against the giant rat.
Yeah, am I swinging with my dex or my strength on that?
You are swinging with your strength on an axe. That's definitely not a finesse weapon.
14.
14. The giant rat, who gets a 19 on his defensive bonus before defensive roll. So he sees you coming, and with a super low center of gravity, it's like trying to catch a greased pig kind of thing. Boom, goes right between your legs, and you swing and you chip into the ground, and some rock come out, but you miss the rat. The rat itself, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's 6 is the other guy. 5. He goes after you. He runs between your legs. You turn around, look. He turns around and he takes a bite at you.
23.
9. Oh, he chomps at you, but you're like kind of a little sissy scared because he just ran through like that. So you pop up with your leg really fast, and he chomps and he misses. And that makes it Mike's turn. There's a second giant rat running around. You gonna swing your pickaxe, or what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna step back
Okay.
and cast Eldritch Blast at it.
Okay.
14.
No, he gets a 10 on his defensive roll. So you murmur some magic words, and there's can't think of that. There's like this eldritch light that all of a sudden appears, and then it coalesces into a ball, and it shoots forth and blasts into the rat. Roll for damage.
10.
10 points of damage. You literally blow the head off of the rat, and its body just kind of twitches or whatever. Blood kind of splatters all over, and that's the first blood you've seen in the room. But blood splatters all over the floor, and the rat is clearly instantly dead. And that makes it the second rat's turn, and he is going to go after one. He's going to go after the lizard, the 17.
19.
Oh, so he goes to chomp at you, and he literally, his teeth bite into your clothes, and he tears away a piece of it, but he doesn't actually break skin or anything.
This is when I'll kind of realize there's rats there, and I'll look down and go, oh no.
So it's chewing on it's chewing on your clothes, takes a nice big chunk out of your clothes, but does not get anything of your skin. Ganvil.
I use my movement
Okay.
to position myself behind the guy that just kicked some butt,
Okay.
and I will stand and hold to the ready with my shovel, using it similar to a mace.
Okay. So you're basically holding the
And
ready
I'm just
action.
on guard. If something comes near me, I will take advantage of it and swing.
Okay, so let's see. So where's your character?
The guy will be Luke.
The guy with the loop.
Right there.
Okay,
Yep.
so, and where is Tim?
Westmir is on the other side of that.
This guy here?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so you move over there.
As I go by, I say bravo, bravo.
So you're cheering him on. Joe, what that becomes? Oh, I'm sorry.
I think
Let's see.
you-
No,
yeah,
I'm
I
sorry.
think it's- yeah.
Bran.
It's Silas gets to go next. Sorry.
Oh boy.
Bran.
I will grab.
So there's one rat left.
Okay. I will take a nearest shovel and I will scramble back to my feet and just try to hit it.
All right.
Very, very desperately. Oh,
18.
7.
Oh, not even close. Again, that low center of gravity, he's able to just scurry around between you, and there's you don't even come close. You don't come anywhere near it. And Byzant, you've got one that literally ripped a piece of your trousers, and
I'm not really even going to turn. I'm just going to look down and
Okay.
cast a ray of frost.
Okay.
So I'll just look at him and go, exhausted. 18
that's a hit.
for 5.
5 points of damage is not enough to kill it. The giant rat is still, the blast hits him. Does that slow him down 10 feet
Yes,
or
10
something?
feet.
Okay, so that slows him down, and he definitely takes you see like frost and stuff all over his body. He's like twitches and stuff, but he's absolutely still alive. And that makes it Joe's turn.
And I will lunge at him and
Okay.
try to.
Oh,
9.
nat 1. So because he's all frosty and stuff, he doesn't even see you. And you lunge at him, you take your first hit, but you're also going to get another free attack against him.
Cool, you want me to take that now?
Yes. Oh wait, I'm sorry, brain fart. Because you didn't get a 20, you got a nat 1, so that's
Fumble.
He got a fumble on his defensive
he's
roll.
got a fumble on his defensive roll, correct. So let's see, no, control. Yeah, it is. It allows it. Okay, I was right. It allows a single free extra melee attack. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so he rolls a new defensive roll against your second attack. Your first one hit.
My second one's an 11.
Okay, and that's also a hit. So you get 2 hits on him.
Is that one of those D4s, D3s?
D4.
D4s. First one is 4 damage. Second is 3 damage.
Okay, so you go through, and the first one chomps through and like pins him to the ground. And he's still like tweaking a little bit. He's got a little bit of life left, and you're just like pissed and disgusted at the same time. So you like pick the axe up again and you hack into him a second time and just hit him right in the head, and he's dead. He's absolutely, you just crushed his brain, and it's toast. And there are 2 dead rats that are laying there. And Death is like, I haven't seen them for weeks. Oh, God, I hate those things. Gross. Good job.
I'm gonna look at Gath and go, it looks like I get that mule I was after.
And he looks at both of you guys, and he's just kind of like, great job. And he backs up a little bit because you guys used some kind of magic in order to defeat this thing. So he's just kind of, there's if not outright respect, a certain amount of trepidation that, okay, great, I'm in the cell with them.
A little intimidation.
Right, there's a little bit of intimidation there because he's got a pickaxe and he can use it, but
I just look at him and grin.
right.
Will their self-gloat? I'd like to walk over and take a look at that rock that was split. They had the rats in it.
Okay.
To see if there's anything unusual about it,
Mhm.
basic size of it.
Nothing unusual. Do a perception check.
Is there a crevice behind that? I was gonna look.
Yep.
Where they came out of.
17.
There's nothing unusual about the rock itself, but when you go look at where they came out of, you look and you see it. There's a very small tunnel there, like nothing large enough that a human could go through, but a small creature could. There's a small tunnel. You do.
Hey Gaff, are you aware of tunnels in here? I'd call him over.
No, I mean, you get stuff that burrows now and then, but rats aren't burrowers, so I don't know what would have made that.
Chip away at it to go into that?
I mean, they could have. I mean, they had.
No, cannot.
Oh no, it's way too small for a human in order
No,
to.
to chip to make it bigger.
You took the opening? Sure, you can chip the opening to make it bigger.
I've got nothing else to do.
Okay.
And I'll stand kind of just using my body, and I'll just hit rocks, but I'm covering him from what he's doing.
Okay, that sounds good. So, a little more time goes by, and Drax comes back, and he unlocks and comes in, and he looks at the carnage that's there, and he looks at the blood and the rats that are on the floor, and he looks up at you guys, and kind of takes a deep breath, and he turns back. Does anybody speak Dwarven?
No, not me.
Nope.
Okay. And so you do not understand what he says, but he turns to his Dwarven brethren, and he begins speaking to him, and he's not shouting, but the tone of the voice is very firm. You would detect frustration, and then he's like pointing at the rats, and you kind of, and he's talking to the foreman that's with him, and then he's pointing at you guys like that, and you don't understand what he's saying, but he doesn't appear to be happy about something. And he kind of taps him on the chest a few times and gives him some kind of an order, and the guy runs off to go do something. You're not sure what it is. And he tells you that that's unusual, that there shouldn't be. I mean, rats can happen, but we thought we had them all cleared out. He goes, we're going to bring you some food, and you guys are going to rest up. He asks if anybody's been injured.
I'll scoop up the rats while he's talking with my shovel.
Okay.
What was it on that, the thing that Gaff is standing on? Is that what we were chipping away at, or is it a wall?
It's underneath that thing is where it came from.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
I thought it was a, okay. I'll stop when I'm done. Obviously, I can't go anywhere
Okay.
with that.
All right.
That looks intimidating.
So, and what looks intimidating?
I've got him right in front of him
There
because
you
that's
go.
how it fits.
So, and he says that he'll have. He asks again, has anybody been injured?
No.
He's like, all right, that's good. And he says that he'll have someone back soon with some food. If anybody was injured, let him know, and he'll bring some.
His rats have been injured. Would you like to have them?
It's not injured. He's dead.
He's dead, is he? He's not dead.
He's dead.
Dad, he's not dead.
He's brought out you dead, and it's good. So he tells you it's dead, and he just kind of he kind of leans back a little bit, like he sort of appreciates the joke, but you don't put dead rats in his face. This is the look, the kind of thing that you get back, and he kind of looks at Geth, and Geth says, "We were chipping away at it," and it just the two of them popped up and started attacking him, and lights and stuff went off, and when he said that, and he's like, "Anybody here uses magic?"
I don't know if you'd call it magic, it's just naturally within myself, but yes.
Maybe a bit.
All right. Well, I don't have anything against anyone's religion or anyone's personal practices. As long as you don't cause any troubles with the guards, no problem. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
All right.
Do you think you could give me a new pair of trousers? It seems I've ripped them.
You'll get new ones tomorrow.
Thank you.
So, and he heads on out, and soon enough, later on, the guy comes back, and he's got some basic, it's not super delicious, but it's not like infested with, larvae or anything like that. And there's some, some cold meats and some bread, and, he brings you guys some water to drink, and it's enough to fill you. You're not like stuffed to capacity by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not a starvation diet. And he feeds you, and he's like, and he says, the dwarf that brings you says, all right, we're going to be moving out in an hour, so get yourself settled, and we're going to go and we'll do we'll start our first set of digs. So, and before he leaves, anybody ask him anything else, or?
So, what are we supposed to prepare for? We're getting settled? What are we getting settled for? We're never going to go.
Correct.
Okay, why don't you just tell us how it is?
Oh, you're going to do fine.
I know I'm going to be fine. I always did.
He just closes the door and walks.
You could be a friend of mine, I'm sure.
It's just, you hear the sound of passing gas as he rounds the corner, and you feel like you may not have reached him on an emotional
Brought out the best of it.
I'm going to finish my food. We still have the rats.
Yes, you do. You did not
I'm going
take those
to
out
take
yet.
both of them into this little corner, because I'm very civilized.
Put 'em on my
Okay.
And I
shoulder.
enjoy. Oh,
Yeah, here
may
you go.
I have these?
You can have them
All right.
both.
And I'll go in this corner, and I'm a very civilized lizard,
Okay.
and just go to town.
Okay.
I
So
will
there's
finish
some-
my food and finish the rats.
There's some nasty crunching sound coming from the corner as the Dragonborn dines on
Well, how
the
big were these rats?
previous festivities. They're pretty big. They're like this big. They're giant rats.
Could you send me a couple of bones if you would, please?
I always keep.
No, I mean a
remembrances
couple
of
of
my
larger
feasts.
bones if you could.
Would you like a femur or a
I
rib?
don't care. I just like to get a couple of bones, please.
I'll do my best, but I
Okay.
am a
I hope that's very good.
voracious consumer.
Brilliant.
Okay. So you guys finish eating up. The guard comes back, opens up the cell, and he puts all of you on a single chain. Your feet are all chained together, so you guys couldn't all scatter off in different directions. But you're on a single. Gaff appears like he's just, this is situation normal kind of thing. He just kind of hangs his foot out there, gets linked up. He's like, okay, boss, and he tells him to lead the way. And so Gaff is the one that's actually at the front, and you guys.
Are these links locked or magically locked or
Oh,
I would think mechanical.
pinned or?
They're not magically locked, no, they just appear to be strong dwarven made links that, put together, and he's got a key, they're the
Okay, so
lock.
they are key.
Yes.
Okay.
hmm So, and
I'll pay attention to where he puts the
the
keys.
dwarf is, he puts the key in a pouch and underneath a belt kind of a thing. And the dwarf is at the back end of the line, and he has Geth lead, so the dwarf is able to keep an eye on everybody. The dwarf just seems to be also armed with a pickaxe and and a hammer, but you suspect in his hands it would probably be more dangerous than it would be in yours. He's probably very proficient in wielding that axe for martial purposes, would be your guess.
In a rhythmic walk, I'll be whistling as I carry the shovel over my shoulder.
Okay. Alrighty. So, and he, Drax takes off and allows you guys, and you guys start heading out, and he tells you when you get to this section here to take a right. Geth is marching you along, and...
I'll do the best I can to conceal the bones too, after he was able to pick the meat off the...
Okay.
And as we're passing this intersection, I'm going to look both ways.
Okay. You see an iron gate down there in that direction, and another iron gate just from the corner right in that section there.
Can I see through the bars, or is it a very sturdy, just thick gate?
You can see through them, but it's also a thick gate. I mean, they're thick bars, but there's enough that you can see through a little bit, But the only thing you can see here is just more of this wall, basically, from that angle. And from there, you can just see it goes around the corner, and you don't know what's there. Just for the record, there can be, yes, this has got stuff on it, but it won't be until you get to certain areas that it may populate with things that you could actually see. Right. To speed it along, stuff that is non-plot
And
defining.
as we come to intersections, I'm going to be looking down the various passageways just to know where we are and just to see what's there.
Okay, and Geth is giving you a little bit of a tour guide. He's basically saying that this is the main shaft one, and we're going to be going to the first major dig site. There's another dig site that we might work at later that we've opened up that's a bit larger than this one, but you're going to start with in shaft one. As he's talking, he's a guard / miner who's behind you. Doesn't seem to be saying much. It's almost like he just tells Geth what to do, and Geth knows almost the tour guide, how to handle things. He stays behind you guys. There's some strange fluttering noises, and the guard goes, "Stop!" And Geth goes to a stop. Do you guys all try and stop, or do you try and keep going?
I'm going to kind of run into whoever's in front.
I will move to the wall, but yeah, I'll move to one of the walls to the side, with my back against the wall.
I'm going to stop and listen.
Without,
I'm gonna stop, and I'm like, it's gonna be hard to avoid those rats if we're chained up.
Oops. And the
You said fluttering, like wings?
there's some kind of fluttering sound. The guard's like, "Stop!" And then there's it starts getting closer, and he goes, "Everybody down!" And he drops down onto his knees. What do you guys do?
I do the same.
I'll probably, honestly, be very... No, I'm quick at that. Yeah, I get down immediately.
Is he coming from behind us or in front of us?
It's too hard to tell because of the echo through all the walls. It's really hard to tell because it echoes off of everything.
I'm going to squat down using the
Roll a
shovel
perception roll.
And I was going to
Sure.
lean against the wall.
against the wall. I pull the shovel out.
Okay.
I'm not laying down. I'm crouched.
Okay.
That's not happening.
It's not, yeah, so there's too much echo going on, so you can't really tell the difference. So after a moment, there's this fluttering sound, and this wave of bats comes flying through, and literally is just dwarfs everybody. Just engulfs everybody as they're fluttering through the
Kind of like
The
you see
system.
bats exiting the cave.
correct.
But they're just small bats.
Right.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
they're just small bats, but there's thousands of them that are just rushing through. So who was not actually laying down?
Bran would have been like, "Wait, what?"
Okay. So just
And I got my shovel of guard.
okay. You said you were laying
I'm
down.
gonna lay down now.
Okay.
I got down.
You down?
I
You
jump down.
you jump down. Okay. So two of the bats go. There you go. And they're swarming after you. The first one attempt to make a defensive roll. The first one attacks the Bran. Wave attacks. Ooh. 19.
7.
Oh no. So they flutter all over you and astigmatism too. Okay.
All my dice are bad. All of them go to jail. Thank you.
Wow. So those bats just go fluttering all over you and bashing into you and slamming. You don't have any armor or anything on you, and they're just hitting you, and they're hitting you in your face, and you're getting into your mouth and everything. You take 4 points of damage.
Not
as they
doing
beat the
good.
hell out of you. And you hear the dwarf screaming, "I said stay down!" And he seems pretty pissed about it. And the next person. And 7.
Natural 1.
Oh!
Oh no.
Oh, let me get out the
I
funnel
don't feel
tail.
so bad about mine now.
Okay.
Get up the next character sheet.
All right. So the first wave of bats, 3,
That's not open.
4 points of damage for the first one, and then it gets another attack against you because you were just standing there, and instead of jumping down,
Well, I was squatted.
yeah, okay, you were squatted. When they hit you, your natural reaction to run kicks in as opposed to squat down, and so you stand up and you get pulled back in the chains, and you're like right in the middle of the next attack. Roll a defensive roll. 9, 13.
Another natural 1.
Oh!
And my other character will be.
All right. 3 points of damage. How much you got left, Any?
-1.
-1. So that's going to immediately be a death save.
And I'm laying down.
You're passed out. So
So you change to a laying down body.
you let's see where are you
Who's
at
he
here?
next to?
I'm at toward the back.
You're
Right
I'm
at
sorry.
Right at the corner.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there
You're
you go.
here. Okay, so I'm going to put death over here just for the sake of it.
Okay.
Okay, so the last thing you remember is just being swarmed and beaten by all these bodies, thousands of bats, and you drop down and you open your eyes again and you just see this shadowy world. You can see your friends, you can see the dwarven guard, you can see the mine that you're in, but it's all like shadowy, kind of like Frodo when he put the ring on him. And you look up and you see this menacing creature. It's a Grim Reaper that has got a giant scythe, and even though you can't see his face, you can see he's focused entirely on you. Roll your first death save, please.
Oh, this is not good.
3.
3, that's a fail. And that also means, let's see, you get a grievous wound, but that won't be until if you survive. So that's the first one. Let's see, now that you're down, let's see, who's...
I'm next to him, so it's...
Yeah, I was at the back, so whoever was changing me at the back, because I was right in front of the door.
Oh, that's the bat. So
Right.
you,
Me and
he's
you.
between you and me.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm at the front.
Bran!
Okay, so let's just see if the nat 1. So the bats actually flurry off. They circle around for a bit and then they go flying off, leaving a body in their wake. The dwarf immediately screams, "Who's dead?"
This guy didn't enjoy the bats.
Okay, he is going
Man
to.
down! Man down!
Does anyone have medicine for one of their? No, nobody has that because you haven't chosen proficiencies yet. So he's basically got all kinds of bludgeoning. Does anyone try and provide any sort of first aid to him?
I will.
You get,
I have a, though I'm not proficient with it, I have a plus to the roll.
Okay, so you literally start ripping off parts of your, trousers or whatever it is to make some sheets, and you try and bandage up and stuff like that because he's got all kinds of lacerations against his face. It wasn't all even from the bat. The flurrying around, he's like slamming into the side of the walls and everything. He's got cuts. So you try and go ahead and roll for your attempt to.
Bran, get over here! 10?
10. Okay. So I'm going to say for this one, you get to roll at advantage for your next save. Roll your second death save.
I'm trying to get a couple
I'm gonna kind of
things.
scoop him up so that you're not dragging him.
Okay.
Okay, with advantage, I got a 19.
A 19. Okay, so you got one success and one fail. So the dwarf guard is going to get up. You can see the number.
Oh, I don't see. Is it the one?
It's a net one. He does not have any medical supplies on him at this time. So you are laying there starting to bleed out. You've applied some medical. Roll your second dex save.
Bran.
You
Just
move
straight.
10 feet closer.
Bran's gonna try to start pulling and try to get closer as he can.
I'm gonna kind of move close to the chains.
Okay.
Are probably not
Natural 19.
having a good time.
Natural 19. Okay, so you've got 2 successful death saves under your belt, and you see the Grim Reaper has moved 10 feet closer, but it's almost like your will to live is what's holding him off at this point, but he's only 20 feet away as opposed to the 30 that he started out at. So it's almost like a contest of wills where he just wants to come and finish snuffing out your life, but you're just like, no, I've got too many things to do, and
There's more women out
right,
there.
there's more women out there, and I'm not going to die in the bottom of some dusty, nasty, dank cave. So,
Are you able to move over towards us?
Yeah, no, I'm pulling the chains at this point,
I'm
trying to get
shuffling
closer.
towards.
I'm trying to get closer.
okay,
Trying to get to him.
all right. When you get to it, what do you do?
I cast Spare the Dying.
Okay,
It's not a bonus action,
right.
not yet. Touch a living creature that has 0 hit points. Creature becomes stable. Does not affect undead or constructs.
All right, so he casts Spare the Dying. You hear him murmur some words, and the guard, you hear him say, what are you saying over there? Because it's not the natural language that it's a prayer, but you're uttering this prayer, and he's like, what are you saying over there? And he kind of readies his weapon, because he's not sure what's going to happen next. But after a moment, all of a sudden, the Grim Reaper seems to fade away. He doesn't hold back, but where he's at seems to fade away, and you come to feeling a lot of pain, and you have multiple arm and leg wounds. All of your dex skills are going to be at disadvantage until you get a long rest.
Okay.
All right? So you've just got all this battering, and you're trying to cover yourself.
I've been
everything.
battered.
Yes, you've been battered all over the place. There's bruises all over your arm, like literally bone bruises from being hit from so
But
many
I'm
things.
conscious.
So you're conscious.
I've still got you in my arms, so.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate this. This is wonderful. The plan here for safety is absolutely atrocious. I don't think we should have to work at all today. I think we should all have the day off.
He might have been trying to eat
What,
it.
everybody that would like to have the day off, raise your hand.
And I'll raise my hand, but.
Quit being stupid.
Go
He told you to get down, and what'd you do? Huh?
Well, I got down further than I would be if I was standing.
It was your own fault.
Yeah, I don't think so.
The guard flips the sign that says safety instance from 102 back to 1, and he looks really pissed. Okay. So he's like, check him out. Is he all right? Can he walk?
Well, I just dropped you, so I hope you caught yourself.
Dexterity check. Do you want me to do a dexterity?
Sure.
Like,
What does it do it?
At disadvantage.
Disadvantage. An 8.
An 8. I'm putting this roll on this one. A 7. You barely are able to catch yourself before you.
But I did it. I
You
made
did it.
myself look graceful
You
afterwards.
did it. You totally made yourself look graceful afterwards.
And I'll look at you and go, oh, I needed that hand, I'm
Do you,
sorry.
do you do recycling?
No, it's fine. Just throw anything in. All right. So you're brought back to consciousness after a minute. Just stabilizing you doesn't bring you back to conscious, but after a minute, they give you some water. They kind of slap you around, and you come back to conscious. You come up and
I will
he
melt
drops you.
this. Oh, this is very difficult. This cane is actually heavier than I thought it was. Could anybody help me with this? And I'll look over toward the dwarf.
The dwarf looks at you and goes, well, the problem, you see, is that it's not weighted the same. You've got a chain on one foot and not on the other. But if you'd like, I'll put a chain on both of your feet, and that should fix the problem, because it'll all be leveled out. I mean, that makes sense, right?
Well, I just have the rest of the day off, persuasion.
Go ahead, roll it.
And persuasion. 14.
14. So he looks at what you're saying, and he thinks for a second, and in his mind he thinks, he doesn't really care about you, but he's more thinking, he's like, if he dies on my watch, then I'm going to be the one that owns it. So if I just give him some convalescent leave or something, then I won't be responsible. But then he's like, yeah, I just got to bring you to the main chamber. Okay, can you just make it another 100 feet?
I'll be moving a bit slow, you know. I just.
God, it'll match your thinking. So he tells you to go. And he tells you to get up and continue marching. And he goes, and for God's sakes, when I tell you to drop down, drop down.
I'll
It's
fall
not
on the ground.
calisthenics.
I fall.
I don't want, yeah.
Straight out on the ground. Is this
Oh.
what you mean?
Yeah, he said down. When I say drop down, drop down.
Mm-hmm.
So my common is still not great, so I go, boom, just drop.
He kind of looks at you and goes, well, at least there's some enthusiasm. yanks the chain, starts dragging you guys. Get him out of here! He starts losing his patience, and he's thinking that they're going to be adventurous. Jesus Christ. They couldn't beat up the wash ladies. And there's one of that.
There's ladies here?
Nope! Alright, so he sends you guys on your way, and you begin marching along, and you manage to make the remaining few hundred feet into the next mine uneventfully, or the first main mine shaft. And he has a conversation with a dwarven guard / miner who's already in here, and he explains what happened. He points to you. There's some of this that happens, and then he goes and closes, locks the door behind it, tells him good luck, and he heads off around the corner to do whatever he's going to do, and leads you to these guys here. And he kind of looks at you, and
Are we all still chained, or
you're all still chained till he gets in. He talks to you, and he unchains you, and he brings you over to the side over here, and where you're right here,
Yeah.
and he literally chains you up to the wall over here, takes the pick out of your hand so you don't hurt yourself,
I have shovel.
throws it off, shovel out here, and throws it off to the side, and grumbling about how, what's your race?
What's that?
Or what's your race?
Human.
You humans, like the humans that they don't belong underground, they can't handle it, they're just,
Does he say that out loud?
he kind of mumbles about that.
I think you're perfectly right. You seem to be the smartest one around here.
I am, but it's not up to me, Jesus. So he kind of mumbles a bit, and he sets you
You
off
know,
the
I
side.
can go for something to drink. You have any ale?
He steadfastly ignores you after that, after he chains you up and walks you away. And he looks at the rest of you, and he's like, okay, and he starts telling you where to pick and where to begin the process of picking away at stuff. And you spend the next couple of, about 2 hours or so, you best guess of your time, doing the most not fun labor of your life, except for him, who's just sitting there making comments and decides that he'd like to help direct, and now he's going to tell people what to do and to put their back into it and other stuff that's notably
I'll
unhelpful.
also look at 2 bones. I'll be playing a little bit of a.
But he starts tapping a work song just to add to the experience for everybody, and that just brings everybody's spirits up. Okay, while he sits there not working, and you guys, of course, you got like sweat glistening off your body, and it's because there's no real airflow. It's hot. It's it's not a fun experience. The one dwarf who's there, he does some mining and whatnot. He gets up. Everybody roll a perception check.
I was going to look for an area also that might have some better ore than others. I was going to make my way around. I was going to make my way around the room and try to find some better area, the best area to mine.
Okay,
I
so
need that dice.
for you, what's your roll? Perception.
16?
16. So you come to this area over here, and this particular pile of rocks looks like it would probably be best for the stuff, the most suitable for what you're looking for. Everybody else just sort of spreads out, I presume, and picks a spot and begins working. There are a number of other prisoners that are in there with you. There we go. Oops, you gotta be by the there you go. There's only one. There's one post that's in here that's got 2 lanterns. There's enough light that you can see, but it's definitely kind of shadowy more towards the edges the further you get from it. But it's really a miserable experience that you're going through. What did everybody roll for their perceptions?
Not 1 - 1 for either a 0 or a -1.
Okay, you don't see anything.
That makes sense.
22.
22, okay.
16.
16,
5.
5,
14.
14. So you, Brent, notice that the guard, I don't know if I can get the right thing, yes. The guard gets up and he's like, I'll be back, Gaff, watch them, don't let them hurt themselves. And he goes to leave, but when he gets up and he walks away to leave, one of his belt pouches falls off and drops over by this little wagon there that's filled with ore. You saw it happen, the guard didn't seem to be aware of it. What are you going to do? You are no longer all tied to each other by feet, by the way.
It's a bag of ore.
No, it's a bag with some kind of belt pouch that he had that dropped off of him.
And it's by that wagon. I'm gonna kind of casually take whatever I have
Okay,
and pretend to dump what I have in that little bin. And
okay,
Pretend to drop some and pick up that pouch.
okay. So when you pick up the pouch, you just kind of casually you make it like you accidentally dropped some of the ore off to the side, so it didn't actually. You're like, oh, and you go to pick up the ore itself, and you pick up the pouch at the same time, and you kind of slip it into your your pants as you throw the rest of the ore in, and you head back off to one of the more shadowy corners. I can't see where your guy is. Is this your guy?
Yep.
Okay. You head off to, you actually head, let's see, you head over to here. It's a little bit more shadowy corner, and you kind of peek open the pouch, and there's a small elixir in there. It's almost like a shot bottle in there. There's an elixir in there, and it's labeled, and it just says, in the common tongue, Shield of Sludge. And that's what it says. Now, new thing that I'm doing, Stephen, you're aware of this. In D&D, outside of characters, outside of game for a moment, you give people potions, and the problem is they almost never use them because they're saving it for the next thing, and they end up having like 57 potions. So potions are things that you guys are going to buy when there's an opportunity. You buy it, and it's good forever. Elixirs are small shot-like potions that are good for the adventure that you got it in. You don't pay for them ever because it's something that you find in the game, okay, so it's never money that's gone to waste, but it's also something that if you don't use it in the gaming session, it goes inert very quickly because it's a low-grade thing, and it's just a quick shot, and it's done, kind of a thing. So you have found some kind of an elixir that literally just says Shield of Sludge.
I'm gonna look around. Who looks the most magically, what's the word, intelligent?
You saw two people that cast spells, and he doesn't really strike you as intelligent.
Alright. I'll go to the warlock. I'll pretend to be like, I have a question. I don't think I'm doing this right. And try to be casual about it. And I will palm you the elixir.
Where did you find this?
I will kind of whisper, guard drop it, and point to the little door that you left. I don't
Can I
know.
do an Arcana check on
You
it?
sure can. Roll for it.
13.
13 it is. Let's see. Yeah, you don't know exactly what it is because there's all these weird different variants and stuff, but your guess is whoever drinks that for another like 60 seconds or so after they drink it, their skin is going to ooze some kind of a strange substance, and that substance is going to make it harder to hit them. It's almost going to be like a natural pseudo-liquid armor that's going to be on them for a short period of time.
Sweet.
It's going to look and feel gross, but it's actually going to help you for a short period of time. Do you say anything to him?
So, if we get into a fight again, use it. It'll help protection.
Okay.
Drink it.
Thank you. And then I guess I'll go back to what I was doing.
Okay, so you go back to what you're doing, and while the guard is still gone, you notice, roll a perception check.
11.
11. Two, you got it. So there's plenty of warning. All of a sudden, because you go back over to this corner, all of a sudden there's like a little bit of a rumbling sound that makes you feel uneasy. You don't really know anything about mining other than your 2-hour basic course and the the PowerPoint presentation they gave you earlier in the day.
Yeah.
So there's like a little bit of rumbling, and your instinct just kicks in and you jet out of here. You go over to this side, and all of a sudden this doorway here, which leads to another mine shaft, just collapses completely, and it just fills in with a whole bunch of rubble, and there's a hole in the ceiling, and from out there's dust everywhere, and then there's this nasty clicking sound, and all of a sudden all of these giant beetles start coming out of the hole in the ceiling and start flooding into the room, and they've got these rather large mandibles, and they have these glowing sacs on the side of them that illuminate them beautifully. You can see them easily, which doesn't make you happy because they're kind of nasty looking with the huge mandibles and stuff, and they just fan out into the room, and you don't know a whole lot about beetles, but you know they look hungry. I better roll for initiative.
That would be a good time, Brad.
Ooh, good. Not on that one.
That's a good start.
That's my roll today. That's my roll this round.
What did I have so far is just a 9. And I've got 2 more.
Hopefully I can.
19. There you go. So I've got 19. 19 is my highest. What's
That one.
Unnatural 20.
a net 20 is it? So
Unnat.
Unnat?
Yeah.
Unnat 20?
Dirty.
Okay.
30.
All right, so that's going to be you, and then it's going to be the fire beetle, and then who's the next highest roller?
I had an 18.
18 it is for
Yes, man.
Westmir, and then the beetle, and then who's next highest? It's not you, you're dead.
I'm the last, yeah.
Dead last.
Dead last.
I got a 7.
7.
13.
13, okay, so that's the order, and I've got how many beetles here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes, I've got 5 beetles, okay.
Did you say you're dead?
Just a 20.
I'm dead last.
Oh, okay. I
Okay,
was concerned
just-
for a
so
moment.
that makes
ended that
it,
little-
so Byzant,
I was concerned for a
Yeah,
minute.
I was too.
you see the thing crumple down, you're literally sitting right here because you're working this rock, so there are 3 beetles that pour out that are within range of you. They have these like chitinous like shells on them, and these, one of them is coming towards you. What are you going to do?
I'd like to,
Oh, thank you, sorry.
I don't know if this would bring me up. I'd like to kind of position myself where the light post is, if you want to do that, and aim towards them at kind of an angle so that I get 3 in a line here. And Byzant doesn't like bugs, so he is going to 100% just pull out an entire lightning breath.
Okay,
That's his racial. And that is 15. So just 15.
15 for the DC.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's what, 3 of them that you can get?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
was that a dex or what does that say? Is that?
it's a dex save.
Okay, all 3 of them fail.
All right. As I do that, I'm just gonna go kapash, and then just lightning is gonna flow through my body and then up into my mouth and
Okay.
and
All right, so you got these 3 right here. Perfect.
5 damage to all of them.
5 damage to all of them, which is not enough to kill them, but obviously enough to do. They are definitely well bloodied. They're scorched and charred, but they're still twitching, and they look pretty pissed about it. So one of them, not surprisingly, comes directly after you, the closest one, and he attempts to chomp you with his rather large mandibles.
14.
14 plus 1, 15.
You just beat me.
Just, he just chomps on you, and that's going to be -1. Oh, 1 point of damage. He just grazes you barely.
No, yeah, down.
So he, you feel a little bit of a pinch, but it's not that bad at all, and it chomps away at you. Westmir. The beetles are fanning out into the room. There was a quick blast of lightning. Is there an appropriate thunder that goes along with that as well, or no? Is it just the shocking sound?
It doesn't say, but
Okay.
I imagine.
You tell me. It's
the-
your lightning.
Yeah, I imagine my whole body becomes kind of a capacitor and it just flings out, so there's probably going to be a bit of thunder.
All right, so there's a thunderclap that goes along with
Yeah.
it, which of course echoes throughout the small chamber, and the lightning that the light that it flares off just like covers the whole chamber for a flash of a second, and then it douses back into semi-darkness with only the light from there. What?
Yes, man, I go, Raven Queen aid me, and black mist appears around my hand, and then the raven shoots out from my hand to the beetle that's in front of.
Okay, so you launch a raven that goes flying out, shaped like a raven, flying out to this beetle that's directly in front and attacking him.
11.
10. Ooh, just barely. No, I'm sorry. Take it back. +3. 13. Sorry. So it literally just bounces off the top of its shell and like takes a tiny piece of the shell with it, but it doesn't seem to get any of the meat in the body. And that makes the next one. Let's see, who's going to be closest to it? Who's this?
That's me.
That's you.
Joe.
Joe. It goes to Joe. It takes a chomp. Oh!
12.
18. He chomps at you for 2 points of damage. It's my d6 -1. So 2 points of damage. It also takes a little bit of a chew right out of your leg, and it's very painful. It's more painful than even damaging. It's almost like a really bad paper cut. Oh, you are not happy. And that makes it, you're over there and there isn't any beetle that's close to you.
But when I can hear all this stuff going on,
Mm-hmm.
I will try to use my sleight of hand and use one of the bones that I have, slow
Okay.
it down a little bit, to try to pick the lock.
Okay, so roll for it.
And I will give myself guidance.
Okay. That's your cantrip? Nice.
That's him. So that would be, picking locks is 13, 17.
17's it. So you're just kind of like you're watching all the craziness, and there's some flash of light, which is annoying to you and they're obviously not appreciating the fine art that you're doing, which is a little bothersome. But the people are easily distracted, and they really don't see quality when they don't know quality when they see it. So you're not that.
Well, I know that
surprised.
my time is coming up too, because we're waiting for the grand finale.
Correct.
This might be the beginning of it.
Could be the build up to that too, and that's true. It is the opening acts, and so as all that's going on, that's what's going through your head as people are fighting for their lives. And then there's a little click, and the lock actually opens, and all of a sudden you do not have a lock on your leg.
Okay.
And you have some movement. So what do you want to do?
Do I see anybody near me?
Mm-hmm.
Who's near me? Are there any guard type people?
No, there's no guards. There's just two other prisoners that are over here.
Okay, I will kind of I'm going to kind of stay back in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Put myself in a defensive posture, keeping the shackle
Okay.
so it looks like it's still on.
Okay, all right. So, but you're basically put yourself in. You're ready to dodge if if one of the creatures comes.
Because I just came out of a death situation, so
Okay.
my health, I would imagine, is like 1 point maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. You haven't.
I'm restless.
Oh, wait a second. That was a couple of hours. You can take a short rest, and you can roll it. So you get 3. What is it? 3 hit points, I think, back, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So you get 3 hit points
I'm
back.
up to 4.
Okay, all right. So you're up to 4. So you get 3 hit points back from the short rest while you're an apprentice. So that makes it the next beetle's turn, and this beetle is going to head right over towards Bran and is going to attempt to chomp on you.
Oh no.
Oh! 16.
18.
Oh, good job. So it goes and attempts to chomp on you, but not even close enough. You are far too dexterous, and I'm just going to say that you hop up onto this ridge over there real quick. You do a quick jig, so to speak, and scurry up onto the top of that, and the beetle turns to face you, but it obviously missed with its jaws, with its mandibles. So that makes it Silas's turn. What are you going to do?
Oh boy. Still very hurt and very nervous. I'm gonna chug the shield of sludge.
Okay.
Elixir.
All right.
And then.
As soon as you chug it, it tastes real bitter and nasty going down, and then all your skin feels like it's burning hot, and suddenly there's like a gray ooze that starts pouring out all like a thin film covering your skin. It's icky and gross feeling, but at the same time, it feels like it would be hard for something to get through it.
Okay. Very excited.
Mhm.
Let's see. There's one in front of me. You said that are close by.
This one right here. That was the one that tried to attack you.
Okay. I will. I'm gonna stay put for
Okay.
now. I think that'll be my action.
Oh, I'm sorry. I take that back. And the other thing with the elixirs is they are a bonus action because it's just a tiny shot glass.
Okay.
So it's a bonus action, so you still have your action. My bad. Sorry.
Action. I am within melee range of it.
You could be.
I'm still really hurt. You know what? I'm gonna take the dodge action.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to be safe about this.
All right. You take the dodge action, so you're feeling extremely defensive. You've got that sludge stuff going on, which basically adds 5 to your defensive bonus roll.
Oh, okay.
It's a really nice thing there. So that makes it. There's 2 more of these. So let's see. Who's this guy going to go for? You know what? This guy is going to go charging up over here, and he's going to attack this prisoner. Blue is the prisoner, red is the monster. Blue's the and with the +1, oh, he chomps on the prisoner. 5 points of damage, and the prisoner, he literally just, his mandibles clamp onto his leg and chomp all the way through it, and he's left with like a little stump. He's like, ah! And he falls down to the ground, and he's screaming bloody murder, but of course the artery's been cut, and so blood just starts squirting out, and he dies in agony while the beetle eats him as the life drains out of his body. which doesn't give you a good feeling. Mr. Joe, what do you do watching this gruesome death of the 4 president?
Feeling invigorated just to land this swing of the pickaxe
Okay.
on the guy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh my god. I took 1d10 damage there.
Let's see, defensive is going to be 15.
5?
No! Not even close. You don't even hit the armor, you just go swinging way above it.
I was thinking way about,
Yep. You'd have cut his head off if he was standing up on 2 legs, but he wasn't, so.
right.
You just fanned him and cooled him by 2 degrees.
I'm good about that. I'll just hang in there. That's how much I can do.
Okay. And then the last beetle, that's going to be this guy right here. Let's see, he went, yeah, that's going to be this guy here. And so he's got basically, well, he can go 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is within his range. 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's you.
Are the other prisoners doing anything, like trying to turn the, or are they just cowering?
They're basically, well, he's going to go up to here. I'm moving all them last. These guys are going to run up, and they're all basically running. These guys run over to this, and they're banging on it, screaming, saying, which nobody has responded yet, but this has literally happened 6 seconds ago.
Yep.
So, screaming, banging on the door. And
Where's the guard?
Bran, not Bran,
Gaff?
Geth, he ran over when just before it, there's a little bell that was there, and he grabbed the bell and he rung it like crazy, and then he ran off to get away from the thing. So apparently there's some kind of a warning.
Where did he run off to?
He ran off to over here.
Oh, he's into that corner?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. But he rang the hell out of some kind of a bell. You're assuming that it rings someplace else as well, but there's a bell right in that corner that's ringing, and he set off some kind of an alarm. So he's going to attack you. He goes to jump. 7?
21.
All right. Is that a nat 20 or no? Okay. So you easily missed. The first one caught you by surprise, but the second one you seen came in, and you were easily able to step out of the way, and it didn't even come close. And that makes it Byzant's turn. There are still 5 of these creatures, but 3 of them have been wounded.
I'm going to turn.
Two of them on.
There's one literally right in front of me. I'm too dumb to think about this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and
Everything's fine. It's fine.
Take a half step back. And
Okay.
then another just ray of frost at that fella right there.
That guy right there? Okay. Well, if you take a half step back, then you're going to be out of its. Are you stepping out of its melee range?
No, I'm just like so it's not literally
Oh, I see what
on
you're
my
saying.
leg.
Absolutely. So if you're
You saw that, right?
so right no, so it's going to be at disadvantage then if you're casting if you're doing melee range. I can't roll dice. Wow, nice catch.
Yep.
Defensive roll of 17.
One was a nat 20 and one was a 10.
Oh, sorry. So you blast and it shoots off and it goes way above it and hits this the pile of rubble that's right there. So that's the beginning of the second round. And that makes it the giant fire beetle's turn. And he's going to attempt to chomp on you.
Go for it.
9.
12.
You easily are able to dodge. It goes to try and,
Out of 6.
it moves forward to try and chomp on you, and you just step out of the way, and it doesn't come anywhere near finding purchase. It's still super slow because of all the frost that's crunked all over its body. That's it. So Westmir.
I'm going to attack one of the 2 that are on Joe.
Okay.
Was either of them damaged?
One of them is damaged, yes.
I will fire on that one.
All 3 of those ones.
Oh,
are damaged. That was
critical.
isn't that up there?
On that one?
On that one.
Oh, okay. So let's see.
We're going for the special table.
It's fine. Yeah.
That's a critical table on the spell. Yes, it is. Okay, not too bad. So you go and you're casting the spell, but you end up miscasting it, and you're not able to direct the magic out. When you say the words, you lose a little bit of concentration, and it like everything sparks right there in front of you and flashes in front of your eyes. You will lose your reaction for the next round, for this round. So if there's any reactive thing, you don't get that. So, but you don't take any extra damage or anything like that. Alrighty? And that makes it one of the creature's turn. So I'm gonna go.
And just for me, the 3 beetles that are nearest us, did the other injured one go towards that? I didn't see where they scattered.
I'm gonna just keep it simple. I'm gonna say the 3 injured ones are the guys that are. Oh no, actually, yeah, it was him, but
Okay.
I don't care. We'll just say the 3 injured ones are the ones that are on you guys right now.
Okay.
Because it's faster to go that way. So in this one here appears to just be happily. The last one appears to be happily just chomping on the body. He's no longer engaged in melee. He's engaged in meal. So this guy is going to come up and he's going to go after Silas. He crawls up and he's going to take a chomp out of you. Oh, 19.
12.
Does that include the +5?
Yeah.
He chomps on you.
Oh no, I don't think you have to roll it.
Oh, it's actually only 1 point of damage.
Well, I had 1 hit point.
Okay, so you drop down.
Oh boy.
You drop.
You didn't get anything from the
Did you
the
short
rest?
rest?
You got something from
I
that.
thought we were working. I thought.
Yeah, they're working.
Yeah, you guys were all working.
Oh.
He got a short rest because he was a. So Death shows up and you can see him in 30 feet away from you, and you see all the battle and combat going along, and you see the Grim Reaper there. You can see your silver cord going up into the heavens, and he's got this giant scythe in his hand. And you can tell its sole purpose is just to cut that so that you will never be, returned to this plane of existence again. Roll your death save.
I don't know what dice to choose.
D20.
All of them are bad.
Yeah.
12.
That's it. You make it. So he attempts to glide forward towards you, and you're pissed enough that you're like, no, I'm going to stay here. I am going to find some way to live. And he's not able to push past your force of will. So your sense of will alone to live is what's keeping him at bay. That makes it whose turn now?
You skipped past me.
Did it? I'm sorry. Go for it.
Okay. The guard that's over there, now he's carrying his pickaxe or whatever, I would assume. You said he ran up to this corner?
Yeah.
Yeah. This guy here. Yep.
Yeah. Does he have anything on him? Pouches, anything like that?
No.
Nothing?
No,
Okay.
he's not a guard. He's just like a prisoner who's in charge kind of
Okay,
thing.
trustee.
there's no
Yeah,
guards.
trustee.
There's no guards.
There's no guards. They locked up and left.
Okay. I'm gonna use some of my movement. Let's see. I'm gonna come back here
Okay.
and maybe get up on this rock
Okay.
if I can.
Sure.
And I want to get a vision of where the rocks collapse. Did I actually have the ceiling collapse? Is there a hole or is it just rope?
This looks like there's a hole in the ceiling. Yeah.
So there is a hole, so it may be accessible.
Strangely enough, it's almost like the last one where there's a hole there, but it seems to be too small for a person to go through. But something probably dug that. Could have been the beetles, though. You don't know. The rats, it wouldn't have been them, but
Okay.
maybe it's the beetles that's doing it.
All right, and for my bonus action, I'm going to go ahead and give the Dragonborn, who's going to protect me, guidance
Okay.
for his next round.
All right. So you have guidance for that. All right. So that makes it. You went. So that makes it the next beetle's turn. He went. So one of them's going to attack you.
19.
You easily are able to just. He goes to chomp at you, and you like literally tee him in the face with your pickaxe, and kind of knock him off to the side, so he doesn't even come close to biting you. You basically interpose the axe between you, and he doesn't even come close. And that makes it Bran's turn, who is rolling his next death save.
Oh, it's a 9.
It's a 9. You see Death, who's slide ever so slightly closer to you. By slightly, I mean 10 feet closer to
But
you.
my shirt says I passed it.
Yeah.
I'm alive, I swear.
So Death is moved 10 feet closer to you, and you can just feel it's almost like a hunger for this being to separate you from this world. And then that makes it. I've got there's one more, and then let's see. No, I got another beetle. And the second beetle is going to attack you. Have you already had 2 attack you? I think. No. I think this round.
19.
Yay!
Oh.
Nat 20. So he's gonna bite twice. I don't know how that's gonna work. 4 points, and 3 points. 7. You drop.
I'll drop.
Uh-oh.
Death shows up for you 30 feet away. I'm sorry.
They're dropping like flies.
Roll my save.
Roll it.
13.
13. You make it. You get your first save.
So when they're silvered state, can they see multiple
You
reapers?
can. You see another Reaper there coming across the room to him, plus the one that's going towards you. You see
Yeah, Reaper vision.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. So it's the desperation of the times is sinking in for sure. And then that makes it. I think that would have been your actual turn, right?
So,
So you get to roll again.
17.
17. All right. So you keep him at bay again. That's 2 successful saves.
Yep.
So you're keeping him at bay. You're just pissed. You're just like, this is insane. The last beetle just continues to chew on him and doesn't do anything. The guards show up at the gate here, but they are working the lock like crazy. And they're yelling and they're screaming at each other, and it's a Laurel and Hardy show as they try and work the lock and get down. So they will probably be in and through the door the next round. That makes it Xant's turn.
Kind of the same situation. I'm gonna
Blast him.
just try to maneuver myself so my face can actually look down.
Okay.
And run across.
Was a D4 added to it for attack?
Oh. 11.
And at disadvantage because it's still right within melee
Yeah.
range.
Here, let me roll.
Yep.
One was an 11. One was an 8.
He rolled a 4,
So that was 2. So it was
you're going to hit it either way.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yep. So this time you're able to blast down right at him, and you hit him directly.
And oops, wrong one. That was my breath weapon. 1.
1 point of damage.
Yeah.
All right. It's not dead yet. It's in really sore shape. It's got frost covering its entire body, and it's definitely not happy. But it is not dead, and that makes it the Fire Beetle's turn. Let's see, the one that's in front of you, I'm going to think. Oh, he begins to. What's up?
That's me.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. There we go. Wrong one. I'm still learning characters, and I don't have my my stuff. So this guy here that you blasted twice, he starts scurrying away, and he's very slowly. He attempts to scurry away. You can get an attack of opportunity with with a pickaxe. Yep.
And is it what's the damage for your pickaxe?
D4.
Just D4.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, and strength. Oh, that's just 3.
No, 19. He's easily able to avoid that attack. I'm going to say with your low strength and him being frozen, moving slow, it's more the sturdiness of his carapace that stops your axe from getting through than him being able to duck or dodge or anything like that. So, and he starts to run off. That makes it Westmir's turn. You see one of them is on the run. You see two more are damaged.
I'm gonna attack the one that was on Bran.
Okay. With an Eldritch Blast?
Yes, with an Eldritch Blast.
What'd you get? Go on again. Oh my god.
Razor Robin.
Okay. So again, you try and cast a spell. See, adventuring is hard. It's things you gotta learn. So, oh nice. So this time you're casting it and you're trying to focus on it, whatnot, and you're building it up. And just as you're ready to release it, to expel the magic, as it were, it all goes off in omnidirectional. And instead of actually being a blast, it's like this giant gong sound that just rings through everything. And if the guards had not been aware that there was something going on, they certainly would be now. You don't take any damage or anything like that, but anything within 100 feet knows that there was this huge gong sound that just, as the magic expelled incorrectly.
And then I was going to try to move and get up to Bran.
All right. And that makes it one of the beetles' turn. So let's see. One of them's going to try chomping on you. So roll a death save because he's going to. It's an automatic hit because you're just laying there.
Right.
So roll a death save.
That's a fail. 6.
6. Okay. So you have 1 fail, and he's chomping on you, and that means death moves 10 feet closer to you. And you're literally watching this thing chewing on your body, and the distraction between seeing something physically chew on your body, you lose concentration on death, and he starts coming closer to you, and you realize things are starting to look very grim.
This feels right.
Let's see, where am I?
Ganvil, can you aid
Ganvil's turn.
Joe?
There's a live beetle at where Joe's at, right?
There's two of them,
There's two of them.
and they're both damaged.
And they're both damaged.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what our backstory is as far as how well we're.
You guys knew each other for several weeks. You bonded because you were all servants to the same masters in the
So
Sons
there
of
is a
Sodom.
bond. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
And you also realize that the more people are alive, the less likely something's chewing on you.
yeah, I'll make a maneuver over there, grabbing my shovel,
Okay?
and I think I can get over there.
All right?
Um,
Oh yeah, you can easily make that.
okay. I will come over to this one here.
Okay?
Whoop,
Oh, good.
moving your stuff around.
That's the beauty of the Dwarven Forge. You can throw that stuff against concrete.
Yeah, I seen him drop it. From a helicopter, maybe. All right, so I will take a swing at the wounded.
14. It's got a tough shitness thing going on there.
19.
19. You slam into it with your
Yeah.
shovel.
Oh, yeah, with the shovel.
All right, so you take the pointed edge of the shovel and you use it almost like a spear and you chomp onto it. D4
3.
is enough to kill it. You just cut its head right off, and its beetly body, as the appendages are all still fluttering and stuff, but it has died. You have slain the beetle slayer.
Okay.
Woohoo! His name was John, and you're going to prison for.
Oh, well.
You're still in parole.
So I have my.
30 years later, still too
I'm
soon.
still right next to Joe. I will put myself in some sort of defensive posture. This thing's chewing on him, but I
Okay.
can't take another swing.
You can't. You
So
can't actually.
I'll be at the ready.
You can't. You're ready, but you can't actually go defensive posture because that's an
that's
action in order to do that. But you're definitely aware there's a beetle there, and you're as defensive as you can be after attacking.
Guards, we need some help in here!
They are working on it. They're jimmying, they're screaming and yelling. These guys are in the way, banging on the thing, keep looking back and forth, but they're trying to get the doors open. That makes it another beetle's turn. Let's see. This one here is still chewing on him, so he is going to come up, and there's 3 people there. There's some food to eat, and then so I'm going to go 1, 2 is the other prisoner. 3, 4 is going to be you. 5, 6, he's just going to chew on food.
Come on, 4.
I'm sorry, what?
Come on, 4.
5.
Oh, well.
So 5, 6. So he's going to chew on you. So you got to make a death save. Okay, sorry.
It's a 12.
12. That's it. You made it. So that's how many successful death saves is that?
2.
2. Okay. So death does not come closer. He attempts to chew on you. He starts to get a little bit of your foot, but you don't let that bother you, and you hold death off. And that's going to be Bran's turn, which is going to be your. This could be the death save that stabilizes you.
Find out. Oh, no, it's an 8.
It's an 8. It does not. Death slides 10 feet closer. He's now 10 feet away from you. You know if it can get any closer, its side will be able to reach you and your life will be expelled for good. There'll be no bringing you back. This is a make or break moment. And what else do we have for beetles? I think the both of them have already attacked you. Oh yeah, that makes it the last guy, and he just chews on him. So go for it. Make your death save.
Nat 1.
Oh! That's 2 fails. Do you have a fail already or no?
I did have a fail already, so that's 3.
That's 3.
Oh,
You got your second character ready?
I sure do.
All right.
Oh, man.
So death slides over, and you see it happen.
No.
You see death come over, and like there's this raw howling sound, almost as if the afterlife itself opens up a vortex. And in slow motion, you see this giant scythe swing across and cut the silver cord. And you just see this look of terror as the last second in his eyes, and all of a sudden he just seems to almost disintegrate or vaporize as he goes away. And then the creature itself just disappears. And you know, even though nobody else has seen it, that he has expired and he has died. And then that makes it Byzant's turn, but the guards are able to break in first. So I'm going to say they knock open this door and they can move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. They double move 40 feet each in order to run in this direction to try and get to you, not knowing that you have just expired mere seconds before. It's a double move, so they can't attack. But that's it. Byzant, it's your turn.
Is that guy still on me? He is not.
No, he's not on you. He is running away. There's one there, and there's one over here. How far is your, and there's one over here as well, chewing on a dead body.
60 foot? 60? Am I right?
Yep, you could reach any of these guys.
Oh, I meant the attack range. Yeah, 60 foot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could reach any of these guys.
So I'm going to, the one's running away, I would see that that's fine. I see that my friend is down,
Yep.
and I'm going to attack the one munching on them.
Okay.
With the Ray of Frost.
Okay.
Nat 20.
Nat 4. So you do double damage with your Ray of Frost. We do double damage on cantrips here.
4.
Is enough to kill it. Let's see, hold on. It's on this guy or this guy?
The one munching them over there. He's
This one?
No, the one on Bran.
right on Bran.
Okay. He is, that's 4 points of damage?
Yep.
Okay. Not enough to kill him.
I'm sorry, friend.
Alrighty, so it goes down. This guy just keeps chewing. I'll say, no, he's got 3 people, so I'm gonna roll 1 through 4. 1 is he keeps chewing on you. 2, he attacks you. 3 and 4 is the 2 guards. 3 and 4, he goes after one of the guards. He crawls up on top of Joe's body and tries to begin gnawing away at one of the guards. Red is the guard and blue is the fire beetle. Red is the guard. He gets, it's a nat 1, so not on his defensive roll. So he misses totally, and the guard gets a free counter attack and does points of damage to the one that was already partially damaged.
That's
Yes.
what I've been hitting now.
He's dead.
Or he had been hitting.
He's able to kill this beetle
Okay.
as well. And that makes it,
That's yours.
pardon me?
My turn.
Go for it.
I'm going to try to do some sort of healing on Bran. He's
Okay.
been down for a few
Okay. So go ahead and roll it.
17.
17. Roll a death save at advantage.
14.
Is enough. You got 3. You're stabilized.
Yep.
So you're not conscious yet, but you are no longer death saves. You just kind of pass out, and death itself doesn't move away, but he's disappears from where he was at. How many failed did you have? 1 or 2?
2.
2. So you have.
It's all good, I'm dead.
We're gonna have you back in just a second.
It's
I've
all
already got a
good.
plan for this. Okay, so grievous wounds. There you go. So you have 2 grievous wounds. So the first one, you have painful gashes and bruises all over your body, and so you're gonna have disadvantage on initiative rolls. Not attack rolls, not defense rolls, or anything like that. Just initiative rolls, and that'll only last until the next long rest. So when you get a full long rest, then that's gonna go away. And then the second thing, is a 1, and so it had been gnawing away all along your eye socket, and so there's all kinds of pus and everything in there, and so you were at disadvantage on your perception and passive perception. And again, that's just a grievous wound left over from the damage that was done to you being so close to death. A full, a long rest will take care of that. But a long rest only takes care of 1 at each time, so since you got 2 of them, it's gonna be 2 long rests. You get to choose which one you heals. I'll let you choose when you do that, so. Alrighty then, so, that is your turn.
Okay, sizing up the room.
Yep.
These 2 guards that are now next to me,
Mm-hmm.
are they do they have pickaxe, weapons? What do
They just have their pickaxes, but they're wielding them like they're weapons. They're dwarves that are miners. They're so proficient with them that they might as well be a battle axe.
Okay, and do I see any pouches or bags or anything like that?
Yeah, they have some
Keys?
pouches and stuff. Yep, they have pouches,
Okay.
they have keys.
I would like to, now I'm not gonna go after them. I'm gonna move
Okay.
to, these are 10-foot squares?
Yes, 5 foot each. Sorry,
5 foot each?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna move up here This guy's dead.
Mhm.
Was this a prisoner up here?
Yep, that was just a
That's
regular
still munching
prisoner.
out?
He's still munching on him. He's got a meal and there's nobody else
I'm
that's,
gonna-
you're positive that guy is dead. Because he's been munching on him.
Sandra, how about some help over here? We still have
So
one.
from where I was at?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll go around the rock and I'll come
Steve, what's your
over.
new character's name?
Trek.
T-R-E-K?
Correct.
Alright.
Is this beetle still munching on him? Still alive?
Yes, it is.
I will take a swing at that beetle.
What's Trek's defensive bonus and passive
With
perception?
guidance.
At level 0, 2, and negative 9. Not negative 1. 9.
9 for passive perception?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's not good.
Thank you. You're,
With guidance, I got a
for what?
5 to hit.
Guidance, does that work for,
Hits and on saving throws.
okay.
Yeah, it's, the target, can roll a d4 and add the number to a roll to one ability check, okay.
An ability check,
Ability
yeah.
check, I'm
Okay, yeah, it's
sorry.
not, it's, I didn't think that was for attack
Oh,
rolls.
that's right.
Okay, so you attacked him, what was your attack without the guidance?
4.
4? He got a nat 1, not only do you hit him, but you get to attack him again.
Cool.
So he turns full into it, and you have a 7 on the next defensive roll, so roll your first damage.
First damage, 2.
2 points of damage, that's this guy here, okay.
So I
So,
roll the hit again,
yep. And he rolled a 7, so.
14.
14, that's a second hit, roll for damage.
Went into my dice. Okay, that is, that's a 3 more points of damage.
3 more, so he's dead.
When
You killed it.
It's you can actually read.
I can read these, I just gotta figure it out. Thank you for your smart ass assistance. Duly noted.
You know, honestly, between smartass, dumbass, and fat ass, I'll take smartass every time.
There
So
you
it's- There's always that. Okay, so you are able to slay the one that was accosting these prisoners. Let's see, that's not you. That is you. All right, and that's going to be. So we've got who left for? All we've got left is this guy right here. Let's see, he's just chewing, and this one is trying to crawl away some more. And that'll make it Bran's turn, who you just lay there until somebody actually gets you back up. And that's
I found him last turn, so he's.
oh, okay. So you got 1 hit point. So you're up to there.
So I'm.
So Trek was the other prisoner that was right over here, and it's your turn. What are you gonna do? You look and see the tide is turning, and you get brave, and you're just like, I can be a part of this.
Okay, I will make a full movement out and survey the situation.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You can make it basically to this post. Are we using the same mini for now, or do you?
Yeah, unless
Okay.
you got your bin, I can look while we're with the
Sure.
insurance. And then I'll take a perception check to see what's going on, because I've been
Okay.
cowering in the corner.
Sure.
Wow, 16.
16. So you see that there's still one beetle that's chewing on somebody, that the guards have indeed arrived, and they busted through as fast as they could. That you've actually been here a little bit longer, so that doesn't surprise you. You know that the guards really do try, and they're not your best buddies or anything, but at the same time they do take your life seriously. So these guys busted through, and that they were trying to get to somebody. You can see that that poor new prisoner Joe, he just wasn't cut out for this life, and it's sad, but. And you do see that this beetle is running up towards, and he's trying to get back up into that, climb up the wall slowly, because he was hit originally. Oh, that's only got every for each round, I think it is. So the frost is worn off, and he's trying to climb back up to escape. It looks like he's down to almost nothing left to him. You can see beetle juice. Thank you. Inspiration point for the DM. Okay, so he's trying to escape as best he can with what little meager life he still has left in him. That is what you say.
I'm just gonna basically just harass the guards. Looks like you got here a little too late for that guy.
He kind of shut his shoulder. You be quiet. We were on break and the door was locked. And when has this ever happened before? And you know, he's like, beetles have never burrowed into this before. This is a brand new thing. We don't know what's going on. You don't know anything about the rats because it's a different character.
Right.
But that is very odd that beetles would, I mean, nothing's impossible, but this is a new experience in all the time we've been here. And that that makes it, I'm just gonna pull it out of combat rounds at this point because there's only one beetle that's left. And I'm gonna say the guards are gonna come over and they're gonna hack these guys up and finish them off,
Can I
okay?
try to shoot a frost?
You
Mine
sure
red
can,
frost.
you absolutely can.
He hurt me. I don't like it.
I don't blame you.
21.
9, you hit it easily.
Okay. And then, right in front of me. 4.
4 points of damage is enough to kill it, and it died. This one over here?
Yep.
Yep, that one too dies and is not able to make it.
Can I, in the action of doing that, combat's over, right?
Yep.
I'm going to kind of sprint into it and then just dig my claws into it. And you said they were shiny, right?
Yep,
Can I try to rip their
absolutely.
shiny bit out?
Yep, it's almost like a natural kerosene lamp that doesn't go out probably for a few days.
Okay.
Kind
So-
of like a glow bug.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
And then I want to keep
It's a
that.
bioluminescent thing, you rip it out, and it's got the brightness of a regular torch, basically.
I just want to keep
Firefly.
that close as like a
Mhm.
trophy. And if any of the guards kind of like try to be like, oh, give me that, I'm gonna
Okay.
just show my teeth and go, mine.
They look at what you're doing, but they look at it and they're like, there's not a weapon per se that's on there, so they're not really concerned. They're more looking around at who's been wounded and stuff. They do rush over once they finish killing this, and they rush over to the people that are injured.
I'll
and
go
they
over
attack-
to Joe and check out Joe.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, Joe has passed. There's too much damage to his body. His heart is no longer breathing. There was just too much damage, and it looks like Joe will not survive.
Joe.
He has passed. What's your new character's class going to be?
Barbarian.
Okay, one moment, I will get you some barbarians.
We have a tank.
Well, he was brave.
Good.
Just brave.
It was a critical hit, did you? And
Yeah. It always seems to feel that. It always seems to happen that way.
Barbarians are unfortunately that little small group right there. Unless you want ice barbarians, I could go get the cold guys.
No, this is fine for today.
Okay.
I will try to. I will try to get.
Mom, baby on Mother's Day.
Alrighty. And whose guy was this?
Mine.
Was your, okay. And make sure everybody gets their minis back. So.
I was just thinking as I was rolling death saves, I'm like, I still need a cleric. Maybe I should drop the monk and think of a new idea.
Bran too.
Ran to. Well, I did have an idea at one point. If my cleric did go down, they would come back at some point as a death cleric, as kind of like a not like a vengeance thing, but I had a whole idea behind it. And I don't think it would be cured, but
There and there, right?
Gaff, what do they do? What's going to happen with our friend Joe? Is he going to get a decent burial, or what are they going to do with him?
Did you manage to stand up?
He'll absolutely get a decent burial. They'll have a nice little, ceremony for him, and somebody will say some words. If you know him, you can say some words for him when it happens, and he'll be treated with dignity.
His debt is paid.
I will, so that would be just wonderful. I think we're all doing pretty well. I think we should all have a couple of words to say. But I have been hurt tremendously here. I'm going to play this up.
Right.
With some blood on me and stuff, use my
Oh.
deception.
Okay.
I want it to seem like, I really need to have some time off.
Okay. Go ahead and try and do a deception check.
And I'm not buying it.
It's not easy to find. It's not hard to find blood. There's some splatter
Yeah,
all
I
over
only
the place.
got a 6.
You only got a 6? Okay, so unfortunately, while you're literally dipping your hand in Joe's blood and rubbing it on your face,
Yeah.
you turn around and there's a guard staring at you. And you lost a little credibility there.
Okay, yeah, a little bit.
I want to run over to Bran, who's stable but down.
Yep.
Pick him up and just fly full speed over to a random guard and say, help him.
Okay.
He's at
No,
one.
no, he's up.
He's
yeah,
up.
He's
Oh,
up.
I didn't stand up.
Oh, you just didn't. So I don't.
I misinterpreted.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
well, I don't realize that you're still laying on the ground and
No,
not
I'm just laying
okay.
on the
So I'm
ground.
just gonna
Yeah.
just
That would
pick
be
your
no,
stable body and
Yes,
go help him.
No, there's already a guard right there. There's already a
Okay.
guard ran over to him. Yep, like that. So you rush over, not seeing the dwarven guard, because he's down here trying to. So he's literally working almost at table, well, like that. You rush over past the guard, and he like wrestles you out of the way. And he's like working.
What's your character name?
Byzant.
Byzant?
Mm-hmm.
Can you give me one of those things like you have? I think that's I can't see very well in the dark, but I think that would help. Can you rip one of those, or however you got?
Oh,
one for yourself?
the from the beetle.
Yes, please.
Is the beetle in the corner munching the guy dead?
He's dead.
Yeah, they killed him. They guard right over
So,
and kill
yeah,
them.
I mean, I'll
Yep.
run over to that beetle as well, and
Okay.
I'll take it off and go, you owe me, and I'll give you
Thank
the
you.
other one, but not my trophy, which I'm holding very close to myself.
All right, so the guards, you're out of combat time there, so the guards come through and they clean up the rest of the few beetles that you did not already kill. And they're kind of muttering to each other, and they're kind of looking at you guys, and, you know, one of them, again, they're speaking Dwarven, so you're not sure, but one of them says something, and the other one's looking at you guys, and he's like nodding his head like this, and you would almost guess there's like a small measure of respect that these things swarmed the area. You only had pickaxes. It's like your first day here, and you were able to take out a whole bunch of beetles before they were able to get in. So they're kind of looking at you like, you know, there's some begrudging respect. No matter what you did, you're some kind of badasses as far as they're concerned, given the scenario. So
I'll pick up Joe and just prop him against the wall so they can do something with him.
okay, so one of the guards stays at all times with you guys. The other one, you know, tells him to run off, and he comes back a little bit later and says he's got a message from Drax, and that you guys are to rest up here and just take they give you some food, they give you some water, and you get a full rest, and everybody's back to their max hit points.
Okay.
All right.
Do they give us bedrolls or something? Or
Yeah, they bring out some bedrolls, they throw them on there, and they're like, okay, and they kind of let you.
What about Joe?
So with Joe, they pull him out, and they're going to
Okay.
take him someplace, and there'll be a ceremony later. But for now, they're more interested in people were grievously wounded. That's there's something strange was going on. This tunnel here has been collapsed in, so they're going to have to open that back up again. But they let you rest up right here, and then once you're fully rested up again, they tell you they're going to march out, and we're going to head to a different chamber. Because they don't know what's happening with the beetles, they don't know if there'll be any others in here, and they want to secure the chamber before they do further digging, and so they're taking you guys out of there to a different location. So they chain your feet up again, and they start to head out. Geth is leading you guys again. There's a guard in the back, and the guard back goes, if I say duck, duck,
Mean stuff. Go, check.
not goose.
Yeah, okay, I have talked to you. While we were in the room there eating,
Mhm.
is there anything, a broken tool or anything like that during this fight or whatever, that I could fashion or use as a smaller weapon? Something that I could grab and tuck?
I'm going to say that one of the pickaxes got busted off a little bit, and so you've got a shiv.
Okay,
A makeshift shiv that you can use to stab people with.
okay.
All right. So it's only going to do D3 damage, but if you can palm it, you can use it with surprise.
Gotcha.
All righty. So, and they get you guys all cleaned up, bandaged up. You guys get all your health back. You sleep for the night. There's some. They allow you guys to say some words to Joe before they take the body out. There'll be a thing later, and they take everyone. There are no bats this time when they bring you. He goes with you. Worf goes with you, and they take you along the long twisting tunnels, and they bring you into this area over here. And you guys come into the second main chamber, and he has you spread out again and start. Did I miss something? I'm sorry. Thank you.
You forgot my shield.
Right? Spread out into this main chamber, and where is he? Here we go. Drax himself is here. You notice too, there's an iron door that you have to come through this way, and so you're positive because you were looking. You're positive that there's at least 2 iron doors between you and the escape. That they got.
I was making note of the passageways and
Yep.
the line and also
So,
the
and it was
doors
actually-
and portcullises.
They took you along this way here. You saw the iron door that way, which you assumed there was some light coming in. You're assuming that was the way out. You don't know what that iron gate leads to there. And then it comes around private offices. You have no idea. Another mine shaft. And then there's another gate here. You notice there's a couple of places where there were some supplies that are tucked away in corners. That food crates, barrels, whatever it is that are there, bandages and stuff. And they tend to seem to just throw them into corners and stuff in certain areas. Maybe, I don't know if they're failed mine shafts or whatever, but there's little indents. They throw the stuff there, and then the rest of the stuff. is clear for the mining carts to go bring stuff through. That gate gets locked behind you. There are 2 sets of the double lanterns that are in here, so the entire chamber is lighted, but of course, as always, there's some flickering of darkness in certain areas farthest from it, so it's not 100%.
I've got a light source now.
So, yeah, you do. And Drax is in there, and, oops, somebody fell over.
Are there any other prisoners?
There are multiple prisoners that are in this particular area. In fact, there's a couple more here and here. There we go. There's a couple more prisoners that are working this section over here, and then there's like a main area there. They're all spread out. Some of them are telling you work, the center piles or whatever it is. Then there's other areas that are sections of the wall that people are working on.
I was going to inspect the whole room again and find the best place for me to do some mining.
Sure. You see one of the couple of the dwarf guys that are up here, and you see why, because it looks like it's probably the best area. So you want to head up onto this thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so you head up there and you kind of boot off that other prisoner who was working the area, but word seems to have spread that you cast shiny magical things out of your hand, and so he's like...
I also give him a real nasty intimidating glance.
So...
Intimidation if I need to.
Okay. He doesn't...
Find someplace else to work.
He's like, I'm tired of this place.
Thank you.
You know what? You're new here. You have to work this place. I'm working someplace off. He tries to make it like he's but there's no question, he's afraid of somebody who can cast magical spells. You're a big deal, and you are a big deal in here compared to the other people that are in this area that's like, they cast magic, so that's a thing. You've survived a near-death experience, so people are just like, well, this one can't die or something. Everybody just wants to avoid you, I gotta be honest with you. They realize that anytime they say the simplest thing, it turns into this intractable conversation that they're not able to extract themselves from.
Well, that's
and
fine.
they just feel like they need a shower by the time they're done, and there are no showers available. So, it's all... so Drac gets you all into this room, and he does say that was very odd that happened, that they're going to have to figure out what's going on, but he kind of looks at you guys with you can see the certain amount of respect in his eyes that you did what you did. You are aware that it was clearly in his direction that he had you guys all laid up and got a chance to at least rest and be patched up before he brought you in. So there's definitely no chance that he's like a slave driver kind of guy. He respects you. It seems to be just, he's a dwarf, so he's going to be hardcore about mining. But at the same time, he doesn't treat you like you're non-persons or anything like that. He wants you to be healthy so that you can mine and be able to do work, and that seems to be his stance on it. So he puts you guys to work. He tells you that there's going to be a break and stuff coming soon. He sends some of the prisoners off. He tells them to go take a water break after a little while, and he explains they head down the passageway and they head over to the area where there's a well that they can go drink at. And take like a break. It's not just the 3 meals a day. There's actually breaks in between where you guys can have a little bit of ale to drink or some water to keep you hydrated and working. So it's not slave conditions, but it's just really hard work. All of your muscles are sore. Everybody's exhausted even after the day's rest. There's some certain heart palpitations because this is twice now the majority of you have been attacked in this area, and you don't have any of your weapons, you don't have any of your armor or anything like that. You've used up your one elixir that you had, so it's like, oh, that ace in the hole is gone, you're out of those resources. So there's several more hours that happens, and then he tells you guys to go ahead and follow the right wall, basically, is what he says. Follow this wall here, and until you get to the area with a drink, and you can relieve the other people, tell them to come back, and they'll start, they can start working, and you guys have got a half an hour or so that you can drink and rest up. All right? And that is what you do. I'm assuming everybody goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
During the time when we're working up there, I would have liked to go ahead and kind of work a little here, work a little there.
Sure.
So I get a good feeling of what that whole room was like.
Okay.
And if there was anything of any interest in the room, and if any of the other guards seem to be hiding anything, or prisoners hiding anything.
The guards seem to just be focused on working. Everybody does seem to be just, the prisoners, it almost looks like they're just taking it as a job. Like this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, or however long I'm gonna be here.
Before coming here, were we aware that this place existed?
Absolutely.
And they sent people here?
Absolutely. Yep, because the keep is such a small thing, they don't really have the luxury of having jail cells where they just feed people that don't provide anything to society. So it serves a double positive purpose as far as they're concerned. We don't have to feed people for doing nothing, and it's a deterrent for people committing crimes because they realize if it's not a capital offense crime, they're probably going to end up getting sent here, and nobody wants to spend their days mining alongside dwarves.
So when we're going to get water, is the guy with us? What's his name?
Geth is not with you this time. They just told you to follow the right-hand wall, and because it's really simple instructions. You just follow the right-hand wall, and eventually you come to the place where
As we're walking down, does anybody have any idea what the hell happened?
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
Bouncing off of his,
Mhm.
do we know that people that come here are often allowed out?
You've been talking when you get the opportunity, some of the prisoners and whatnot. It is possible. There's some people, they do their sentence and they're released in 2 months, 3 months, or whatever it is. So it's not like a death sentence to be sentenced here. What's tricky about your guys' situation is you've been accused of treason by proximity. Nobody fingered you specifically because you probably already would have been hung, but because you're the apprentices of the people who were accused, the law at large is like, I find it hard to believe they didn't know. And while we work that out, you're going to go here.
Okay.
And so you're on a bit of a knife's edge as far as which way it could go. As you're marching along, you get to the section here and you see yet another area that's got, barrels and there's an overturned cart. But you also see a rack where there's a couple of pickaxes and shovels and stuff. Who has the highest passive perception? That's going to be Silas. Bran?
Yep.
Bran, you notice, as you're going, it catches your eye, you like stop and you look over and is that? You look closer in the area and you can see hiding behind one of the shovels is an iron short sword. And underneath the cart, half buried in the bottom, seems to be a second iron short sword. You don't know if it's maybe something the dwarves had or whatever, and they put it there and somebody forgot, but you do see 2 iron short swords that are in that area.
I would point that out very quietly.
There are no guards with you, and Geth isn't there with you either because it's just follow the left wall. They assume you want water or ale, so they assume you're going to go.
Yeah.
And so they just let you go on your own because they know there's locked gates here. It's not like you can escape. So, and this area here had been, tunneled into, had been broken off. So they know you're basically trapped. You can't go anywhere. So they just send you on your own to go to this location. So you have no supervision at this moment when you see the 2 short swords that are there.
You pointed them out. I will quickly grab one
Okay.
and hand it to Byzant.
Oh, no, not me.
No, you don't need this?
No.
Oh, do you need this other one?
How about our
No.
new friend?
Well, I guess we'll keep it for
He
myself,
seems
huh?
stronger than us. He's
What
quite
about this?
muscular.
What about this new fellow here?
What's your name, friend?
Name's Trek.
Trek, do you know how to use this?
I do.
Well, here, you can have this, son.
I'll take him like.
Don't worry about it. You can pay me back later. And I'll grab the other one.
So when
What are
you
you gonna do with it?
What am I gonna do with this?
We have to go back to the area. It's not like we can.
When
come out
you
of
grab the one from underneath that's half buried in the sand, out from underneath the cart come 3 giant centipedes.
Cool. And I have one in my hand and I'm able to give it off to him.
That's correct. Well, you hand the first one to him,
Okay.
and then you grab the one underneath, and when you pulled that out, the centipedes
What I
come
have in
pouring
my
out.
hand.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it is in your hands.
Centipedes really like jumping hands.
Do
I've
we-
raised them.
Oh, all right.
Roll
They're
for
very
initiative.
aggressive.
Roll
about
for
their
initiative. Ooh, 19 plus 2, 21. Anyone have higher than that?
I got 10.
12.
I've got a 10 as well. I'll let you go first.
Okay, so who's the highest?
12?
12 for Westmir, and then
No, I'm an 8.
10?
10.
10 and 10. He's going first.
Okay. Let's see.
I'm going last. I got 2.
Okay, there we go. All right, so the first giant centipede kind of rolls out. And he attempts to bite you. with an 18 on the die, plus 4, 22.
So natural 6.
A natural 6 is not going to do it.
No.
He chomps on you, and you take 3 points of painful damage as he
Ouch.
bites your hand. Ow! It kind of swells up, and
What
it
is with all
really
these young
hurts.
creatures in here? My.
And that makes it Westmir's turn.
Raven Queen, dispatch this beast.
Eldritch Blast.
Unleash it, Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
And I get a 13.
13 easily hits it. When they come out, they only see him, and so they're not paying attention to anything else. Your Eldritch Blast flies out, and it
5 points.
5 points of damage literally blows it in half, and it instantly dies. The one that just bit you is instantly ripped in half. It still has its jaws, its bite in you.
Yeah.
You have to pull it out of you and throw it off, but it did die.
And then I step back to let others. I step aside so others can attack.
Okay.
With my
So
movement.
that's you there. The next one, so this one is going to roll up and it's going to attack the, who is it? Trek?
Correct. 13.
10 plus 14. Just barely. So you duck and dodge, but he is able to chew on you for just a tiny bit. You only take 1 point of damage. It's just a graze. He doesn't even get both mandibles into you, but one of them manages to like dig into your flesh a little bit. And it's kind of painful, but it starts to swell a little bit, but that's all it does. And that makes it Ganvil's turn.
Okay, I will take a swing.
All right, with what, your new short sword?
With the new short sword.
All right,
Is it iron or bronze?
it's iron.
16.
It's iron. 16 total
Nice.
is a hit.
Jesus.
So,
It's
D6 minus 1.
No,
Right,
it's iron.
D6 minus
No, steel is the full.
Oh.
is the full D6, right, iron, so it's D6 minus 1, I believe.
Yeah, it's just
Right.
not one dice down.
Right, it's
so 1.
1 point of damage?
Yes.
All right, so you partially slice into it, but and it's, some centipede goo falls out, but definitely does not kill it. And there's one, let's see, 1, 2, so there's one last one that has come out, and I'm actually going to say, because you're standing right there, he's going to go after you again. Ooh, 17 on the die.
Fine.
He bites into you. Oops, get the right dice. For 3 more points of damage, does that drop you?
0.
Drop you indeed, and you fall down and you see the Reaper of Death 30 feet away. Roll your first death save, sir.
2.
2 is a failure.
Uh-oh.
So it moves 10 feet closer to your motionless form, and you just see it coming towards you, trying to cut that thing. So that makes it Xanth's turn. So
I'm
there's
going to
there's 2 of them left.
I absolutely hate bugs.
Okay.
So I'm just full lizard scream, screech sound. So I'm going to go right in front of Death here.
Okay.
Aim towards the one in front of Drak.
Okay.
Drak is it? Trek.
Track. All right.
And use a Ray of Frost.
13.
10.
10.
I miss.
You miss. It goes flies above you. There aren't really any lights in here, so it's kind of hard to see anything.
I'm
And
a lizard, so
and-
you know.
yeah.
Fast moving things.
so it flashes around and slams against the wall next to you, and you just see this icy thing blast right next to you, which does not make you too happy. That makes it Trek's turn now.
I'm going to take the weapon I have in hand and
Okay.
drop the hammer.
15.
19.
You hit it.
Minimum damage. 4 points of damage.
Is still enough to kill it. So you are able to, you got the short sword?
Yep.
So you literally like stab it in the head, and then you put your foot on it, and you go, and you just freaking gut it in one shot, and split it open, and it is clearly deceased. You have destroyed that one. And then that makes it Bran's turn.
Okay.
There's one left. It is unharmed. And you see it's crawling over the body of one of your
No,
fallen
are you sure you want to
compatriots.
help him up? We get a reprieve here.
No, we should know. Yeah, Bran's gonna move through everybody, and cast Spare the Dying,
Okay.
and then,
How, do you have to be right on him or no?
yeah, I have to be
Yep.
touched for now.
Okay.
Uh, I can't get behind anyone else, can I? There's no more room. If I were to go, like, hide behind someone after that.
Not really, no.
Okay. Well, if I can't move, then I guess I will stay there because I don't have enough movement to
Alright,
get
so
back.
you do cast Spare the Dying.
Yeah, as an action.
Okay, so you are no longer making death saves. You see death disappear. You do see he comes over, the winged one comes over and mutters some words and touches you, and death all of a sudden starts to fade, and you just kind of go to black, and you see the person who it was that took him from you. So you're, I don't know if you're capable of gratefulness, but you appreciate
My first thought is, what am I gonna owe this guy now?
Right. So the only two thoughts that are warring in your mind before you go to black, and so is whether or not you're going to owe this person something, or it's clear that somebody appreciates their betters and they realize you are their best shot for success.
That's entirely possible.
And it's really just an acknowledgement of that basic fact. Is your understanding of what just occurred.
Boy, we got super ego here.
Alrighty, and that's so that makes it just we're down to, so there's one last giant centipede left. You did step down in front of him.
I did.
He's going to crawl up and try and attack you.
Alright.
Oh, 16 plus 4, 20 total.
Yeah, no, that's an 11.
That's not it. So he comes and chomps on you for 1 point of damage.
Oh, yay.
So it's just a minor little sting as he bites into you. Who is... All right, and that makes it Westmir's turn. So you see there's one last one left.
Blasted with the Eldritch
Eldritch
Blast.
Blast. So the Black Raven goes, look at that man on fire with the dice, huh? So they're public rolls. There's a reason why they're public
19.
rolls, because nobody will ever believe it. So 18 on the die plus 3.
Yeah. Thought I was doing good with the 19.
You were, just not against this guy at this moment. So he crawls up, and as soon as you go to fire, he literally, it probably would have hit, but it slides right in front of your body so that it goes right past him and blasts into the ground, almost taking off your leg. But you're unconscious, so you don't actually see that happen. So otherwise, you would hold it against him in the future, of being uncareful with his unlicensed firearm. Yes. So, but you did not see that one. So that makes it your turn, and you're passed out still. So that makes it Byzant's turn.
I guess I'm going
Frost
to.
him?
Yep. My best.
3 on the die.
Oh yeah, I beat it. It was 11 on the die.
You got it. So the spidery words of magic are spoken, and you direct your energies, and a beam of cold shoots out and blasts into the being, doing...
Okay. You made me think he was gone. Oh, 5.
5 points of damage. He is gone. You are able to freeze him solid, and it stops for a second, and you're not sure. You walk up closer, and you step on it, and he just cracks in half.
Oh no, I wouldn't step on it. I'm staying there, and I'm just.
All right. You step on it, and it cracks in half, and you just fuck there. So
Crunchy treat.
right, and he is dead. Let's see, who is closest to you? Sit after a time. You get healed up. You sit up. And you look, and the first thing that you see is there's some kind of a vial that's also where when you pulled out the sword, that's there. There's another one of those small
Looking
vials.
to make sure there's no more critters in there.
Okay.
I will do my best to grab it stealthily.
Okay, so you take your short sword, your newly found short sword, you sort of hold it up for a second to make sure everybody realizes that you found it, and it's your short sword. And you just kind of jab away under the cart, and you're looking, jab it into the dirt floor and stuff, and nothing seems to respond. So then you take it and you kind of scoop it, and you get the file closer to you, and it's another elixir. It's kind of a green elixir, and it says "Quick Draw" is what's written on it.
Okay.
Whatever that might mean. So you're not sure as an artist whether that means you're able to sketch people quickly, or whether or not you would be able to move faster than everybody else at the moment of initiative where you can draw your weapon, as that is known. So it could be either one. Being a bard, you're not, or want to be bard, you're kind of actually hoping for the former more than the latter.
Yeah, because I could always use another skill.
You know, the ability to draw finger, you never know. It could impress the guard, it could shorten your sentence, and other people, you could write to your
I
compatriots
just
while
look
they...
around the alcove a little more, see if there's anything else to be found.
You do not see anything else to be found. There were the 2 short swords, and there was the small elixir that was there. The whole thing took maybe, what, 15, 20 seconds of time that actually happened. Given that all the people in here are chinking away, there's like 20 people that are making all kinds of noise and whatnot. They did not appear to be alerted to that in any way, shape, or form. And nobody has come from the other direction in there.
You feeling okay, Brian?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, thank you very much. I do appreciate that, but I think we should be off. I can use that long rest.
Let's go get a water. Let's get some water over here.
Alright.
And as they pass,
I'll take the. I'll walk. I'll take point.
You'll take point?
And as they pass, I'm just waiting there. My facial spines are kind of rattling as I stare at these dead bugs until everybody's gone to make sure they're not gonna follow us.
They do not. I mean, one of them's been eviscerated.
He doesn't trust it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Does not like bugs.
Fair enough.
Not knowing the room's going to be empty, I'm going to go ahead and try to figure out a way of hiding this sword the best that I can.
You think what you come up with? Roll a deception check.
And then I imagine when
Natural
I come back, I'll
15.
go up.
Natural 15. Okay. So what you come up with is, look,
So,
everybody in
the
the
18 altogether.
everybody in the group has sustained, damage or some kind of fight or whatever it is. So, or injuries. So what you're going to do is you decide to take the sword and you strap it to your leg underneath your trousers, and you've got yourself a little bit of a peg leg.
There you go.
And you start doing this as you're walking around, and you point to him and you're like you're brilliant, and he should do that too.
I am brilliant.
So
I'm gonna drop my sword in the mining cart. And just pop
Okay.
off.
Does anybody else want a short sword?
Not at the moment.
I don't use metal.
Okay. So one of the blades gets in there. You have a blade for yourself, and you clearly understand that when he saw your skillful use of the blade, he did not want to make a fool of himself in front of the compatriots compared to your greatness.
Of course.
And so it made more sense for him to dispose of the weapon to do compare directly.
I think to myself for a moment, I would have taught him the proper way, but I think he chooses not to.
If you had the time. If you had the time.
Is what's Trek's appearance? Is he big and burly?
Yep. I'm a big half orc.
Oh. Okay.
I told you this one was stronger than us.
You don't think you could probably teach a half orc anyway, so it's just.
I'll reconsider.
Yeah. So it's not. Anyways, so there is a second sword there. Nobody wants it?
No.
Okay. So you guys head off. Eventually, you pull yourself away. You're like, they're not going to move. They've been cut up. And you get to here, and oddly enough, you don't see anybody in there when you get to this point. When you look in here, you can see the well. You can see where there's casks and stuff here that people that have ale and stuff in it.
I'm gonna listen. Is there any? Do we hear any talking or any?
Roll a perception check.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Not only do so the first thing you hear when you walk in, you're like, because it's really odd that it's deathly silent in the room. There's supposed to be a group of prisoners here who are drinking and resting. You don't see that. And so you don't hear anything, so you're like, shh. You wait for a second, you listen real close, and then you hear weakly some kind of like murmuring sound, almost whimpering, struggling sounds, and then you hear a slight tapping sound above you in the ceiling.
I take the light from the or use
Okay.
the
Firefly.
the firefly light and push it towards the ceiling so I can see.
And you see a giant spider up on the ceiling, glaring at you balefully. If I can get that to say, ooh, he can. And in the light, you can also see a number of webbed up bodies, weakly struggling, you can only presume, against the poison that has recently been injected into them. But it certainly looks like the spider itself would be hungry to always have more victims to eat.
Spider against the far wall.
Do we have to?
And you realize too that with a nat 20, one of those that is webbed up is the guard. apparently this creature, the only thing that could have happened is it webbed up the guard, and then when the other prisoners came in, it was able to overcome them quite easily.
And I'm gonna step in and to the side,
Okay?
and then unleash Eldritch Blast, or roll initiative. Whatever.
Roll for initiative. You have the choice if you want to drink that quick draw now. That would improve your roll for your initiative. You don't have to, but that's what would be now.
No.
Okay. 17. I take it back 19 with the bonus. So, anyone have a 19 or higher? Nobody. Public rolls.
Yeah.
So nobody believes it. Alright, so who's next highest?
18.
18 it
Truck's got an
is.
18.
For Stephen, who's next?
I've got a 15.
15 it is for, isn't it?
I have an 11.
You have an 11.
I got 13.
13.
8.
8 it is. Okay, and you have the feeling like if you take that, it could speed you up and you could do better, but that's up to you.
Yeah.
Nope, okay.
I'm fine. We've got these spellcasters and stuff.
Your immediate thought is, well, if he's going to throw away the sword, let's see how he does. So, oops, not giant centipede. There we go. Giant spider. There we go. All right, so he's going to come, let's see, but the first person there is, let's see, that's going to be you there. What's his distance? Ooh. All right, so he literally hops down, and he's got a huge distance. He can crawl 40 feet, and he easily makes it to you, and he attempts to bite you.
How long did that stuff last that you drank?
Oh, was it 60 seconds?
1 minute.
Okay.
Yeah, it's long gone.
Maybe you should stay in the back with me.
15?
8.
No, he chomps on you,
Yeah, I should stay in the back.
and you take 3 points of damage.
Alright.
Does that drop you?
No, I got 1 left.
Okay,
The one that matters.
that's the one that matters. That is the one that matters. We don't need this one here. Okay, so, and Trek, you've never seen a giant spider in these mines in all this time. This does not make any sense to you whatsoever.
I'm just gonna say I regret leaving the sword behind, and I'll run at it with my pickaxe.
Okay, go for it. 14 plus 3, 17.
19.
Oh, good job. Roll for it.
5 points of damage.
5 points of damage. Does not kill it, but it's bloody. Or close, fair enough. So that's you running, so you charge up to here. This is 10 feet wide, so it can be 2 by 2. That makes it Byzant's turn.
I am going to shoot it with. Can I?
You can shoot through them, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Just making sure before
Yep.
I hit them. 17.
That hits. You are able to deftly send your bolt of frost through the crowd.
Max damage 8.
8 points of damage is enough to kill it. Wow, you guys are becoming master adventurers. So you hit it with your pickaxe, and then a blast of frost comes shooting between the center of all of you and hits it in the face, and it just falls over, and some of the legs twitch, and then it is dead. And you have the sounds of weakly struggling humanoids wrapped up in webs, suffering from the effects of poison.
I'm just gonna go over and check out the guard
Okay.
and try to free him.
All right. So and all it takes is you just have to take your pickaxe, and you can literally use it like a knife and just cut through, and it cuts through the webbing, and it takes you probably a good 10 minutes to get everybody free, but you are able to get everybody free. None of them are dead, but they're all like super weak. They must have been injected by the poison, and they're, struggling. Their lips don't look too good. They look like they've lost some color, but none of them look like they are going to die. Apparently the spider likes to eat them alive. So,
Is there a hole or anything that it came out of in the ceiling?
Yep, there's another one of those holes in the ceiling that's too small for a human to get through, but large enough for insect-like creatures to make it through.
What the heck is going on?
While they're investigating, I'm gonna probably take whatever flask, bowls, whatever they have, fill it with water, and just start helping them to
Okay.
drink a little at least.
All right.
And I'm gonna read the room. While they're doing all this for the 10 minutes, I wanna hobble around
Okay,
and try to check all the passages, like the passage down here, look down there and walk around the room, see what's going on in the room, anything left behind, anything dropped.
no, you don't see anything else there, it's just there's some pickaxes and shovels that were dropped obviously by the guys.
I'd like to move down to this, down to this area here.
Okay.
Do I see anything down the hallway?
No, and in fact, there's no light coming from there because that hallway, you go to here and you roughly surmise you could see a cave in, and you go, that must be the area to the first room that you guys, the first major hallway.
Okay.
That's the back side of that's apparently been closed off.
Okay, and I'll position myself near that.
Okay, over here?
Yeah, well, actually, no, near the wall up here.
Sure, okay. So you're able to peer down, and if something were to be coming, you're aware of, you're looking down that hallway.
Yeah,
to see what it is.
back to the wall, get myself comfortable enough
Okay.
with my damaged leg.
Right,
And,
which you're still
get it-
playing up. You've
Oh,
got
yeah,
the leg
most
out like
definitely.
that, and you look at the guard as he's weakly trying to get himself back together, and you're like pointing to your leg and then pointing over there that you're doing this, and you're a huge help, even though you're injured.
Mhm.
So they should appreciate it twice as much as they normally would.
Most definitely.
Even as a damaged individual, you are taking the lead and assisting in the safety of all of these people. So, and honestly, they could learn from you if you had the time.
Oh, yeah, but I need to rest.
Right, you do need to rest, and they should be aware of that. But even when you should need to rest, you're still helping, and it's really not appreciated to the level that it should.
It's not at all.
So they're dwarves and they're not very proof. So time passes. Fortunately, amazingly, nothing else seems to attack you. The guard asks one of you to go get Drax. Does one of you go and so you hustle off? You tell Drax, and he says something in Dwarven that doesn't sound like a polite word. Not like he's mad at you, but he's just like, fuck. And then he heads down into this area, and he comes to see what's going on. He looks at what happened to the guard. He looks at what happened, and again, he takes a look at you guys, and he's like, I don't know what's going on. Something's not right. Either the gods don't like you, and they're determined to get you all dead, and maybe take the rest of us with us, or something else is going on. But you saved those prisoners, and you saved that god, and then you came and you got me. So I'll be putting in a hell of a word for you when the time comes. And you can look in his eye, you can see he's serious. He's like, okay, you can see he is at this point not believing that it's likely that you guys were some part of a rebellion. I mean, it's possible, but this is technically a crown-run line. Your job would be to disrupt it as much as possible, and yet you've saved other prisoners multiple times, and in this instance, you've saved a guard, so that's not really adding up into his head, and he's kind of looking around, and he's, what is your deception check again?
Well, I got a +3 on deception.
fine.
Can I roll
Do you remember what it was before, roughly?
it? What is
That's
17.
17? Okay. So Drax kind of looks over at you, and he looks over at your leg, and he kind of stares at it for a second, and he's like, you take care of that leg, okay? And,
I certainly will. By the way, I want you to know
Mhm.
that fortunately, because of all these people here that are in the room that made it through this terrorizing night, they could all follow direction very well. I want you to note that, please. That, as I gave them the inspiration that they needed to go ahead and fulfill this, and to get these people to a safe place.
He's walking over as you're saying that, and he's kind of reaching into his back pocket, and while you're still speaking, he pulls out a big grate of cheese, and he literally shoves it into your mouth. He goes, you deserve some food.
And I will take advantage of as much of the cheese as I
Okay.
can.
And he taps your injured leg, and he makes the sound of the steel that's on it like that, and he's like, and be careful of that leg.
I certainly will.
So you're confident that he's aware that you have what it is, but he's also clearly aware that you didn't kill the guard, you didn't, so he's just gonna let that go for now. And he's gonna have everybody rest up once again until everybody's fully healed up, everybody gets their maximum hit points. One of your, you can pick which one of your grievous wounds goes away.
I thought that was the second. He did.
Is that the second one? You're right.
That's the second one.
Right. So they're both gone. Did you have a failed one?
Yeah, for dexterity.
Okay, that's gone because you have a full rest.
I don't
So,
think we've taken any damage as spellcasters, have we?
No, I've taken 1 damage. I got pinched once, it hurt.
How's yours?
I think I've got it down. Stay back.
So you are either the true pros or the cowards that are in the back.
Oh, they're following my direction.
Right?
Do our death saves go away?
Run,
or are they
run
still-
away.
Yes.
sir.
Yep, all the death saves go away, so death save
Okay.
fails go away,
I
so you're
didn't-
back to
I
0.
didn't make them go away, so last time I was like, oh no.
No, so they went away and you
Okay.
guys you're healed up. So do you understand how that mechanic works now too? The full, is that making sense?
Yep.
Also
If
the,
we go pack tight, you should grab that other leg brace that's in the mine, Todd. I would suggest it to you.
Yeah, I think at this point, like, I would definitely grab that.
let's see, where's, you said
I would just
you're
walk
up
around
here
with it.
again. Everybody's just kind of around different areas. We're gonna say you're over here and you're up against the wall nursing your leg wound.
I mentioned to him about grabbing the other.
Yeah, I
leg
grabbed the sword on
Grab
my
the other
back.
sword?
Yeah.
Okay.
brace. The leg brace.
How long are you gonna nurse that fake wound? Really?
So
It's very important he gets to max.
So Drax gets everybody in the room, everybody gets healed up and stuff, and he kind of looks at you and he seems like a pretty sharp guy, and he's like,
I'll grab a pickaxe and start
he's all,
working.
oh, that's appreciated, especially with your formerly wounded leg and all, but I'm not by law allowed to have the prisoners be armed.
Well, I've got 2 arms.
Excuse me, workers be armed. So I'm going to ask you to take those blades and set them, and to give them to me, actually, if you would.
Well, okay, you sure you don't want me to carry it?
I hand it right over.
He takes it, he's like, he goes,
It's going to affect my work capability.
I
I'm
know,
sure.
and you should work slowly until you fully recover.
Okay, and I'll
Takes
slowly take it out.
He takes it, he grabs it, and he's got a little bit of a smile if dwarves are capable of that, but he literally just puts them up against the wall, not that far from reach. He doesn't secure them or anything like that, and even though he doesn't say anything, that almost sounds like, it certainly looks like a sign of some measure of trust, that he's seen what's happened. You've been attacked multiple times, you've never attacked a guard, he clearly is taking this into account for what's going on. He's not, he's a dwarf, so honor is very strong with him. The letter of the law says you are not allowed to be armed. So he has disarmed you, but at the same time, he's put them in a location where, if necessary, you would probably have access to them again very quickly.
I did want to ask while we were still alone when all
Sure,
that
yeah,
stuff
there was
happened,
this- yeah.
while we were over there. Does anybody know anything about the rebellion? I know nothing. Do any of you? This is all news to me.
I haven't known you long
None
enough
of
to get
you,
to-
and all the time that you've known each other, and you are new to the group there, but none of you guys know from the Sons of Sylvanara, never mentioned anything about a rebellion, never
My
mentioned it.
mistress never said anything about the rebellion.
No, you've heard people talk about the rebellion, but specifically,
But not from our patrons.
not from your
I
patrons.
haven't
not
heard
from
any
your-
songs made up about it or anything like that.
No,
For my backstory,
Mhm.
it's more than likely that I know a baseline, but
Mhm.
my master that I'm working with does not.
correct.
And she didn't speak ill of the Empire,
No, they seemed interested in getting the bounties that provided by the crown. It would almost be like they'd be biting the hand that was feeding them. For them, it's like, okay, we're gonna go hunt stuff, and even if we don't find treasure, if we bring back some wood elf ears, or if we bring back some goblin ears or something like that, they're gonna pay us for that. So that for them, it would be like biting the hand that they were planning on having feeding them.
so this doesn't make sense if they were executed for something's going on that we don't know.
It doesn't, and you get to mutter amongst yourselves, and you're talking, it's very odd that not only were they accused of treason, but literally the next morning they were tried, sentenced, and executed. That is nothing that you've seen in the time that you were there. Now, you've only been there a few weeks, and you haven't seen anybody else be accused of treason before. Based on the other things that you've seen of the way justice was handled, that seemed out of the norm, very much out of the norm. So something's not right as far as the accusation certainly doesn't seem right, and then the way that it was handled doesn't seem right.
Very heavy-handed.
Yeah, very, very heavy-handed. Something is amiss would be your guess is going on.
Even Byzant's like.
And
I
you,
think
who have been
something's
sitting here earlier, you had spent more time at the keep yourself, and you have seen people that were, been executed for treason, but there was like a week or two ahead of time that they gathered up evidence, and there was a big long trial, and there was all this, the usual stuff that would have happened. you give these guys some advice because you've been here longer. You let them know that when it comes time for your trial, that you don't ask for a lawyer, because why would an honest man need help telling the truth? Is the mentality that's happening at the keep as far as the way that goes. So that's one of those things like, oh, he asked for a lawyer. Oh, well then he's got something to hide. Seems to be the mentality that goes there. So on the other hand, the keep is not unusually harsh on there's not like a perpetual witch hunt going on for rebels. It's not like every week they're finding somebody. It's not like the Salem witch trials. It's very rare that somebody gets accused of treason because it's such a high crime and the penalty is what it is. So again, it just kind of makes all of this stink a little bit more of something is not right there. So I'm gonna use the restroom real quick and you guys can talk to yourselves about how you're gonna handle things. You've rested up, you've got all your health back, everybody's got all of their grievous wounds have been healed up. There are a couple of weapons that are now available within reach if that was necessary.
Who needs a weapon?
And they're just asking you guys to do that. So we will continue on.
I can hardly swing a pickaxe.
Pickaxe, short sword, it's all about the same.
I've never done either. This is the first.
So I'm gathering you have some roguish skills? Picking locks?
No,
No, I'm talking to,
No, I'm a bard.
Roguish, it's
with
performance.
Yeah,
With,
I mean, I used to perform it in all the time. I
roguish
played my lute.
tendencies.
I can play drums, I can play my lute. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
I can pick locks. Not very good at it, but I can do it.
I just imagine, yeah, I was about to say how it works, just like,
I just
pick lock.
put 2 pieces of metal in and just go.
So your magic's birds. Where do the birds come from?
The Raven Queen. She is my patron.
I don't know much about that. I am just merely a
That's where
minor educated dragonborn.
my power emanates from her.
Mine comes from within.
That's just smart.
Sometimes
Certain.
I don't control it well,
No.
and things become very cold or shocked.
Good to know.
But we'll be okay.
I'll stay behind you.
No. I'll be in the back. If there's more bugs, I don't like bugs. They crawl. They can. Do you know what a mite is?
Oh, little teeny bugs.
Yes. Imagine those inside of my scales, constantly digging. And,
Oh, that's unfortunate.
yes.
They seem to like Bran, though. All these bugs seem to like Bran.
Well, I'm not a fan personally.
But they like you.
They try to
They
hug
seem-
you a lot.
They do seem to like me a lot. Oh boy, it's been a hell of a day.
Yes, almost literally.
I just want to speak up and let you know, you may assist me again in the near future if you'd like to. I don't want you to have to hold back if you're ashamed to do anything like that. You're more than welcome.
I think
Of
you'd want to
course.
stand behind the big one over
I
there.
know, I quite like standing behind him. He's big and scaly. I don't quite know about him yet.
What exactly is it you do? I see you
You've
running.
had-
I see you running high a lot. But
You've seen
besides
me
that,
play
what
instruments.
else do you
If I had my lute, I could play a very wonderful tune.
Now he did take a head off of a bug. I am very grateful.
I've done that, yes I have.
A shovel.
do?
Yeah.
I must have missed that.
You were on the floor.
Well, you should be.
I haven't been on the floor yet.
Weren't you? Oh no, Bran was down. You
I
were
was assisting Bran.
You were
There you
assisting
go.
Bran.
Maybe I
at the
was
time.
assisting Bran and I missed his act of heroics. I don't know. I haven't seen any of it today, but
It was a
You know,
rare
I might
sight
have
to
missed it.
behold.
It's a shame that you're delirious. So get on with the day then.
All right. So, question before I go any further: is anybody else hungry or no?
I brought some munchies food.
Okay, I was gonna say, did you guys want me to order pizzas or no?
I mean, I'm always hungry.
That's fine.
Is this a bathroom for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we use the bathroom. Will you guys
$100
decide if we're
an
gonna
hour.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I have cash with me. If you want me
Okay,
to
that's
contribute.
about that. We'll just, but I'm just, you want
I
some?
can have some. I'll take some.
Okay, I'll order a couple of pizzas too. I think 2 large should probably do it, and we'll have a couple slices. We're done in just a second. So, get some kind of food. in.
Use after him. I've been drinking a little bit.
Few beers.
Oh, I forgot to bring the mead for you.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, so the apple is not good. My stopper shrank, so it let a lot of oxygen in.
Yeah.
So I
You
took a
guys
drink
played before?
and
Did
felt
you
something
do the
soft on my
started,
tongue.
Oh no.
So-
zero?
Oh no.
No, this is the
I'm
first
sure
time.
that one's not good, but the other one is
Last
still
time-
good.
last
And
time I ran
then
it
my
was
redstone
normal
is
PvP.
still good, but it's
Started
not
wrong.
as carbonated as it used to be.
Okay.
So I can bring that in next time. Because
We needed the road.
pretty much quit drinking.
No, I
That's
get
all
you.
good, but we need another.
I try not to
No.
drink as much as
Like,
I used
we
to.
don't- we
I'm
don't-
definitely
we
not
don't-
in my
It'll
prime
be
of
fine.
like I could pound drinks
It'll
and
be
be
fine.
fine. Now, not so much. But
I actually do know how to use
Yeah.
I used to.
these
I've
tools.
always been allergic,
So,
but
now,
it
And
used
then
to
there's
just
I'm
be
not-
the other thing also,
heavily hungover,
barbarians have, they have
basically.
good perception.
and then I
No, I don't.
No, I thought
did the late entry
the
program
bards
to
have
the lanes,
or
and
barbarians have a pretty good.
that's the
They
end
have
of that
pretty good
story,
perception.
basically.
yeah.
No.
I finally got into the Air Force, but
Not me.
Marines.
Oh. So I
They
thought they
hit
got some
my
pluses or
alcohol
something
pretty
to
hard.
perception to help with their.
I think you can pick some
My stuff's
abilities
pretty
that are
good, though, and
perceptive,
it's-
but
Unfortunately,
that's later on, and that's
expensive
an
for
option. It's
so
just an option.
I hate letting it just.
Because I thought that they
spoil.
weren't surprised
Yeah. No,
often,
I
and they have some
definitely feel that.
stupid.
'cause I-
They have some
perception
stuff where
ability
they
that keeps them from
they
getting,
can't
I
be
just realized
surprised
oh,
by
it's still
stuff,
open.
but it doesn't.
Like, as the core
It doesn't
and
mean
stuff,
that
I don't know, because my dad's bar is
if something-
outside.
if something
so
happens
I
that
don't know
surprises
if
all of
it's
us,
good or not.
I won't
As
be
long as
surprised,
the
but I
cork
won't.
hasn't-
I won't. I
is
wouldn't
it
have the foreknowledge.
stopper
to
or a
tell you about
cork?
it. I guess how that works.
It's
Gotcha.
Like
it's
a
kind of like a It's got
cork
a
at the top, but then like a mushroom almost.
yeah.
So just make sure the interior structure hasn't shrunk,
Okay.
and if it has, just kind of give a glass pour and see what comes out of it.
Okay.
But it should
Yeah.
be okay.
Alright, I got one cheese and one pepperoni coming, so that should do it.
Sounds good.
Alright, so, oh, that's fine, so the Terry's, the defensive bonus and all that stuff makes sense, is all that working for you?
Yeah, it's working fine.
Okay, great.
There you go, Terry.
Oh, thank you.
No, there's an opener on the.
I know, I was gonna see you thought about it too.
Oh, you have to open it first.
Thank you. Thanks for what you did. If I left mine in the truck, I'll borrow yours. 'Cause you already have your, right?
Yeah.
That's it for the week?
Yeah.
Gotta say this has been very fun.
You enjoying it?
Oh, it's been just the ups and downs, like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. Oh.
There's a lot of drama at level
Oh,
0.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't, you don't want to drag it out forever or anything, but so when you finally become a hero, you earned it, damn it. You know what I mean? It's kind of,
Just getting the first level.
yep,
It's,
it's just,
like, oh.
because the thing is like, oh my god, and when you are powerful, it'll just make you feel that much more powerful because you started off, at the bottom, so. Plus, like I said, that's inspiration from the Elder Scrolls. I'm like, you always start off as a prisoner, how about if I do that? You know what I mean? So, yeah, we'll throw that in there, that could be fun. So, got to use my World War II trenches for mines again. Yay, that makes me happy. That's what they are, the World War II trenches from 3D. If you look, you can see it's sandbags that are on the side.
Yeah, it makes good walls.
So, but I was like, you know what, that's good enough for, trenches for mines.
Absolutely.
What the heck? So, and then just throw some Dwarven Forge in there for the actual rooms, and colors are pretty good, so. Alrighty. Good to go? Alright, so you guys are mining for another couple more hours. You're almost getting towards the end of the day, and you guys are chipping away at stuff. And Drax kind of is walking along, and he's like, well, he's a dwarf, so he's able to tune out the mining sounds and listen for things unusual, because it's born into him for generations. So he's kind of walking along, he's watching everybody, but then his eyes start going up around, and they squint a little bit, and his head cocks to the side, and he starts listening and going. He gets over closer and closer. He gets to this wall over here, and he's listening for a second, and then his eyes get wide, and he goes, "Run! Invaders!" And he points everybody to this direction in here and tells you to start running.
I'm running.
What do you guys do?
Flat out. I'm dashing.
You run.
I grab a sword and run.
So you grab a sword and run, about 10, 15. So, well, before I execute that, I'll tell you what happens next.
Oh boy.
I may be big, but I'm very fast.
Oh, he went in the other room.
Yes.
More props.
All right. So, part of the cavern wall collapses down. Oh, I got it timed here. So if I can, there you go. Part of the cavern wall collapses down. Piles of rubble come out. And where are they? They're over here. And rushing out as you guys come rushing past as fast as you can. He's able to escape the wall collapsing down, but a bunch of kobolds start pouring out of the area, and they've got their little nasty spears, and they come charging in, and they head mostly towards this side over here because there's the prisoners, of course, start running in this direction, and it's like it's the fastest and easiest place that they can corral. Some of them, as they come rushing like that, they literally jab him several times, and he takes some damage and he falls over, but he drags himself off to this point here, and they just keep rushing over him, and they mostly seem to go into this area here because it's such a small opening that they can corral whoever's inside. You guys, these dwarves here and stuff, go running past. They ran as soon as they were told. You guys are a little bit farther away.
I'm actually gonna run kind of like so that I'm facing forward to the group of the kobolds.
Okay, so you're like this.
How many kobolds are coming through?
You can't count them in the chaos. You there's probably like 10 or so that you can see that come pouring through. Because don't forget, when the wall comes down, there's all that dust and dirt that's flying, and then you're in a room that's got, flickering light from the torches and stuff. So there's a whole big mess that's going on. We'll do that. Here we go.
Could we push this cart into the opening to?
Well, right now there's kobolds literally pouring out of it, so you'd be rushing into them and they'd be stabbing at you immediately if you were to do that. So he drops over. I'll throw him there for now. He drops over. You guys are running, and you see that he's wounded. He kind of drops down on one leg, and he's still telling you guys to run as he pulls out his pickaxe and he's getting ready to swing and defend. Do you leave him there, or what are you going to do?
I'm gonna fire an eldritch blast at the kobold in front of him.
Sure. Okay, so I'm gonna say just go ahead and fire the Eldritch Blast because they're just like pouring in. It's almost like the stormtroopers in Star Wars. You know what I'm saying?
21.
21 is gonna definitely be a hit. Yep. So you blast him. How much damage?
9.
9 is enough to kill him for sure. So one of these guys, he gets blasted and he just falls over dead. A big chunk of his neck gets blown out by the Eldritch Blast, and there's some gurgling, bloody sounds, and then he just drops over, kicking slightly, and as the black blood oozes out of his throat, he expires.
Back into the hallway.
Okay, so over this way here?
Yeah.
All right. So, Bran, you're next to him, you're running past. Does anybody grab him or no?
I'll grab him.
You're gonna grab him?
Yeah.
So you grab him. He's swinging, and you kind of also have to be careful because he's pulling back with the axe. So you have to make sure he doesn't, not axe, but pickaxe. So, but you grab him and you drag him back around the corner here. And from what you can see, most of them seem to be just going in this direction or guiding this up here. These guys, I'm going to say he's going to run for it.
Is the gate behind us closed or open?
It's closed. I assume you're going to run past?
So I would stay at the gate,
Here?
kind of holding the line.
Okay, and you pulled him back to there. I'm just going to say you dragged him well out of the way. Alrighty. So Drax, he's bleeding. He's obviously got several wounds. He's got a couple of spears, that were stuck in him. He's bleeding. Still doesn't look like he's borderline death or anything, but he's been disabled to some extent. And he's looking up at you and goes, God, how did I not know that? And he kind of switches back and forth between Dwarven because he's just naturally mad, so he doesn't, you know what I mean? He just speaks in his native language. But then finally he looks up at you because you dragged him, and he goes, that's what's been going on. That's where all these, it's been the kobolds. They've been going to attack the mine, and they dug all around, and they put little tunnels just large enough to feed in critters in order to be able to weaken us over time. So they've been doing these little attacks by proxy to weaken us before they make their main assault. And kobolds, being the mischievous and trap-oriented type guys that they are, makes perfect sense. Before they would do a frontal assault, they would try and weaken a prey as much as they possibly could. And so all these things that were happening were not coincidences. They were small holes that the kobolds, who are also miners and tunnelers, dug, and then they would literally fill bags with these creatures and then shove them out through for you guys to have to deal with in order to try and kill or wound as many creatures as possible. And it really makes you hate kobolds at this particular moment.
Where's the key to the gate?
So he's got it on him, and he pulls it out, and he says, where am I? I gotta make sure I get this right. Okay, so he says, listen, laddies, I'm too wounded to stop you, and no man should die to these nasty critters. He goes, so I'm gonna give you this key, and if you follow the left wall, this wall here, if you follow that left wall, it'll open up this gate, follow it all the way around. If you keep going on the left wall, you'll eventually reach, he describes to you these two gates here. He goes, this gate here, if you open it up, all of your gear is there. Your weapons, your armor, it's all being stored in that location. So you can open it up and you're armored. He goes, when you come back out, you've got a choice to make. There's two choices. The first choice is you can go left, and this key will open the gate, it will get you out of the mine, and there'll only be two guards standing between you and freedom. He goes, to be completely honest, it's your best chance of survival. He goes, there's only the two guards, you'll be fully armed, please don't kill them, but if you can run past them, you'll have your freedom. He goes, but you'll be wanted men for the rest of your lives by the crown. You'll be found guilty, you'll be under sentence of death. He goes, and if you weren't aligned with the rebels before, probably the rebels will be one of your few friends. Or you could head back to the sea, the coastland, and you could hook up maybe with some pirates or some smugglers.
I say we stay to fight, go to the trial. Let's arm up and defend ourselves.
He says, well, if I have my way, he goes, if you arm up and you come back, he goes, your chances of survival are less.
Can we pull him through that gate and then lock it so the kobolds can't come through? Let's do that.
Sure. So you guys do that. You pull it through, and you're on the safe side of the gate.
Can I speak Draconic to the kobolds?
You can.
So
let me just finish up real quick with what he says so you guys know what your choices are.
Go ahead.
So, who's you back? You're going to stay here?
Yeah.
Okay. So when he's dragging them back, they get to the other side. Did you guys lock the gates behind with him?
Come back here. You can yell at them from the other side of this gate.
Yeah, I can sit behind the gate. If they funnel in, I'll speak to them.
So far, they've all poured in this direction.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean,
because I don't really have anything.
Is there anything in that room that we know of? Because I was moving around, kind of reading the room.
Well, that's what I'm getting to.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have anything here, so while they're gearing, I will just sit here.
Okay. So the second part that he says is that he goes, but if you gear up and you come back, he goes, if you fight the goblins, if you fight the kobolds, and you clear out the mine, he goes, I guarantee you, I'll go to Lord Redstone myself, put in a word for you, and you'll be exonerated. There'll be no trial. He goes, if I tell him that you are in no way, shape, or form part of the Alliance and how you behaved honorably, he goes, there won't even be a trial. He goes, but
I say we stay and fight.
he goes, and also, my brother is in that room. If you save my brother, I'll pay your wages for your level of training.